fucking foolish. Try to get them buns, I'm killing them mic just like I ran the jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front, knowing that kid with an attitude. But you can't really blame this motherfucker, it's doing what he had to do. Turn. I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of clubbers. All about that RIP for all of my Jesus going departed. All about that business, what I started, I'm about that.
Top down, like you're not ready. We ride, we're not ready. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Top down, like you're not ready. We ride, we're not ready. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Know that I'm about it. Want it, man, I can bring the drama. But it ain't by chance, I'm fucking rapping. You don't want a problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rapping like homie starving. Yeah, y'all gotta ask who the man is. Hope I'm gonna be like, beg your pardon. I'm about that.
Top down, like you're not ready. We ride, we're not ready. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Top down, like you're not ready. We ride, we're not ready. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
It is a Tuesday edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley on this side of the table, repping my boys. The Full Court Press coming out on Friday. We're all excited for that show, for that debut. Got a little sneak peek yesterday. On the other side of the table, it's Richie Giuliano, Conor McGregor, and, of course, the other guy who's not even... What are you doing? Like, we're not even a minute into the show, and you're already
I'm good, man.
disinterested.
I'm ready to go. It's a great day.
Who are you texting?
AAU stuff.
AAU stuff. See, it's been 1 week of AAU, and we're already on the back burner. One freaking week.
More than 1 week, but that's okay.
Well, whatever, Quinn. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you not being here. So, guys, let's talk about, first and foremost, let's get my G. Berwick Farms What's My Beef right out of the way, right out of the jump. Rob Manfred, I hate your freaking guts. During the draft, he says, 100% we're going to have baseball. Confident. As confident can be. Telling the reporter, I am 100% guaranteeing we have baseball. Flip, not even a week later, I'm not confident we're going to have baseball in 2020. What the hell is it? Like, which way is it, dude? Like, you are the leader, you're the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and you sit there and you give us a little bit of hope, and then you just completely, like one of those, you guys have seen the tables in restaurants that they have the tablecloths, and they try to rip it from under you, and they could just take everything off the table. That's how good of a server Rob Manfred is.
He can never use absolutes, though. That's where he messed up.
Well, yeah, but I thought he knew something that we didn't. I thought behind the scenes, he knew that this was going to get done. A good follow, as always, on Twitter is Ron Potesta. Make sure you follow him. He's funny. He's charismatic. But he also gives it to you straight. Like, it is a straight shot of right to your chin. And he called out Manfred. He's like, can we just get this loser out? I mean, I'm paraphrasing. Can we get this loser out of here? Can this experiment be done? People that don't love baseball, that aren't passionate about baseball, the owners, the players, and especially Rob Manfred, get him out of there. Like, he's not helping. When the two sides are so far apart, you need a leader to step up and be like, listen, you're going to play, let's go. Like, let's play nice in the sandbox and get the... Baseball has completely botched an opportunity that they'll never get again to be leaders in the category. You know who's done really well? Golf. NASCAR. Basketball, not so much either. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. But baseball...
But basketball's, like, for sure coming back, though. I mean, they were already in mid-season. They were.
Yeah, basketball is almost over.
Basketball, you can say it's coming back, but, like, Kyrie threw a nice little wrench in the system the other day where you go, I don't know if it's coming back now. You know, when they went for... They downed it for COVID. They took, no pun intended, they took a knee on the season for COVID. And then all the momentum started coming back, and then they're going to play at Disney World, and then Kyrie comes out and says, we're not going to play until there's social justice for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Listen, man, like, that ain't good.
No.
That's not good, because what is it, 2020? It hasn't happened for 2020 years. Like, we're not going to fix this in a half of a year, in a couple weeks.
I saw something I showed Q. I don't know if it was real or not. They said talking about using replacement players to finish the year out.
The basketball?
Something like that. It was probably fake.
Dude.
It had to be. I don't
Can you
know.
imagine?
Sign me up.
Get the Cavs in there.
Sign me up.
But, I mean, you never want to see replacement players because we all have our favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
But at this point, let's go.
Well, if you have replacement players, you know LeBron's going to come out because he wants to win that title. Could you imagine LeBron playing Joe Thomas from Sparkle?
Well,
Gonna dunk on
if,
him.
if you listen to any Cavs fan, that's what he had when he took the Cavs the championship
Oh, that
every
was.
year.
That was.
Give me a break.
The manager down here at Circle K was on his team.
Hey, but LeBron, you need a pull or pop? 79 cents, dude. Kick it back. I mean, like, let's just play. Like,
Basketball didn't have to come back though.
it should.
It didn't have to.
No, but you
was
have LeBron who knows that.
Yeah.
I think LeBron's
like,
a big. I hate to say it, man. I love LeBron, but LeBron's a big reason I think is pushing for it because
He looks at the calendar. He goes, "How much time do I have left?"
exactly,
Yeah.
and I think they would have won it. I think they would have, and I think they still can. So I think he was a big, pusher for it.
Well, here's my problem with Kyrie.
He hates
Kyrie
LeBron.
wasn't even playing in the postseason,
No.
so
I
he
don't know if
makes
the
it.
Nets are even coming back anyway.
He
Yeah.
makes it.
So many injuries.
Yeah, he makes a
Kevin
huge
Durant's
stink
not
out of
coming back
all
for
of
sure.
this, and he go, but Kyrie, you're not playing anyway, so you can stay away.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what
don't
you
have
say.
to play. But then you got Dwight Howard. Then you have all these other big names are starting to come out and they're saying, well, we're not going to play unless X, Y, Z. I'm starting to feel like it's not
Losing
about
Dwight helps LeBron.
surprise, surprise. Losing this guy helps LeBron. Like LeBron, which way is it, Quinn? Can he win by himself or can't he win by himself?
Helps.
Okay. Okay.
Go back to baseball. Talk about baseball.
I'm talking
Leave
about sports in
basketball
general.
alone. Leave
Here's
basketball.
here's my issue with sports in general right now is it's not about COVID anymore.
No.
I don't even think it's about I think that people got comfortable doing nothing and they don't want to go back. And I think some people got on the Corona diet and have pushed up about 10 pounds and they're like, I'm good. Like I'm gonna need a few weeks to get this
Oh, yeah.
off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen these people. You just see regular pictures.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what they say about baseball. Well, we need 2 or 3 weeks to get. What the hell were you doing this entire time?
Exactly.
You know what? Like you should be working out and gearing up so that way when we flip that switch, or heaven forbid, the commissioner of baseball flips that switch, you're ready to go. Like you shouldn't need a spring training. What are you doing right now? You should be out throwing like the dude out in Los Angeles breaking windows. Like you should be doing that. We should be seeing players hitting off. And honestly, what we should have been seeing the entire time is guys like Mike Trout teaching youngsters how to do stuff by themselves, on their own, to make themselves better players. LeBron should have been doing that.
I
All
agree.
that.
I agree, but like we said it before, Mike Trout is not one. Even doing nice stuff like that will never ever, I don't think, be in the eyes of people. You know what I mean? I don't think he wants to do anything like that. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I thought about it too. Like you're famous, you have all this money. Why can't you just say, hey, get your trainer, get something, and just go work?
Give me like a Tommy Mansky's hitting video in 2020
something.
by Mike Trout. I'm all over it.
Oh,
Like I would
absolutely.
love it. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody, like everybody wants to make the buck, and I get it. You have a brand. I mean, Tristan's over there looking like Conor McGregor. He's got a brand he's got to uphold. But at the end of the day, don't sit there and tell me, well, I'm not going to play because of COVID. Oh, I'm not going to play because. Are you a basketball player? Are you a baseball player or not? Like, do you want your money? Then you play. If you don't, then don't. Somebody else will take your spot.
Or you think they're worried about the second when they called it that was going to come eventually? But we talked. You said that you did say it is summer. It kills it.
It is. I just think you start thinking now, like people are thinking about, okay, I want my sport back now. So I want baseball back now. Okay, baseball is right now the only sport I think that could come back successfully this year and not have next year affected. Hockey, dude, hockey's going to start late July when it usually is over.
Yeah.
And then they're going to start back up in October?
Yeah.
Like, think about that. You're going to have like 13 days to carry around that Stanley Cup and jump in the pool and do everything crazy that you do with it.
Yeah.
Basketball's in the same boat. I think we're going to see a ripple effect here where they go, well, we just finished a season, so we need an extent. Like, it's going to affect next
Oh, it
year.
will, absolutely.
So an 82-game season is now down to let's say 50 games, just for a number.
Well, I think that's why it plays an effect. If things are really going to happen, even basketball, you know what I mean? They're going to roll into October.
But we're going to have the same conversation in basketball that we're having in baseball right now, where LeBron's going to want his full paycheck. And the owners are going to be like, wait a second.
LeBron gets his full paycheck.
Huh?
LeBron gets his full paycheck
Why?
because it was just part of his deal. He was one of those 9 players that got his full paycheck.
So I guess that's my...
legitimately he got paid his full paycheck.
So next year, though, when they're only playing 50 games, what are you going to do? Because the owners won't... There's going to be no fans.
Is that like a lifetime thing he signed?
Well, yeah, he gets that Nike lifetime thing, but
Well,
his,
that has nothing to do
his
with-
actual contract, he got full pay this year. He was one of those few that got full pay.
So how does he get it and not the
His
12th
agent,
guy?
It was his agent. Whoever his agent is.
Then his
Rich
ass
Paul or
better be
whatever.
ready to go. His ass better be ready to go right meow. Because if he's getting full paid and he's literally just working out, like he's the best exerciser in the world right now. Congratulations.
I bet LeBron's working out right now. I bet LeBron's ready to go right now.
He shaved his head. I saw that.
Well,
He-
they said if you want to embrace greatness, everyone talks about being bald. Kobe and Michael.
yeah.
I mean, he embraced it, I guess.
All the best are bald, baby. Everybody's. You guys are gonna need to start shaving your head.
I mean,
Quick,
I
got a
mean,
haircut.
my
in.
hairline's gone a little
No
bit. Hey,
chance.
Listen, hey, my buddy, my best friend in the world, finally turns 35, got a haircut, and he cut it almost all off. And I looked at him, I was like, it took 35 years for him to accept it. He's losing it. I said, dude, you got to embrace it. Like, you cannot hide it anymore. You cannot hide it because it just looks bad.
Yeah,
It
my-
just looks bad.
My brother started shaving his head at like 22.
Jordy?
Yeah.
Well, he was losing it.
Yeah, he started shaving it.
He was
early.
losing it quick.
Yeah.
All those, and I have the hat to protect, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. But once I started losing it here, I started growing it here. I was like, I got to have something. I got to have something. So I did the old Triple H, grow it out on my face. Rob Manfred, I mean, Richie, you're the biggest baseball fan I know. What's your feeling on this dude?
Honestly, I don't like him
Yeah.
at all. I mean, for him to come out and say 100% we're having a season, you got to have some season. And we mentioned on the last show, if you're under 50 games, then what's the point of having one?
Somebody said 50's the number.
And exactly.
That's stupid.
And they just denied the 72 game. The MLB Players Association did. So
The
I don't
players
know.
want to. It sounds like the players want to play.
yeah, they are. I mean, they're out on social media saying, like, Lindor yesterday came out and said, give us a place and a time and we're playing. And all the Indians players backed them up on that. So I'm confident at least that half of the league wants to play. So if half the league wants to play, let them play, you know? Figure something out with the Players Association and the other players that don't want to play. You could find thousands of minor leaguers that are dying for a spot on the major league level.
That's where I'm at with it. Like, if you want to play baseball, go play baseball.
Go play.
Are you telling me there's a minor league out there that isn't
Oh,
chomping
yeah.
at the bit?
Oh, absolutely.
He's
Be
dying.
like, dude, don't play. I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
let me go. The
I
dude
mean-
that is right there on the
Yeah.
cusp, he's waiting.
And there's minor leaguers that have spent their whole career down there. So they've been dying for an opportunity to get up. I've seen minor leaguers play that have been in the league for 12 years and still haven't been able to get up to the MLB. So
And there's youngsters out there that are looking to beat arbitration, get ahead of their schedule.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden they get paid. So I'm at the point now, if you want to play, play. And those are the guys that we should look to and be like, I'm going to wear your jersey because you supported
Yep.
the comeback. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
want to play baseball. You want to play basketball. You want to play hockey. And that's what frustrates me. Out of all of these major sports, who's doing the best job of bringing their sport back to the forefront? It's not baseball.
well,
We can all
golf.
admit that.
Golf's the best. I mean, they're literally playing right now.
They're killing it.
So
And Kokrak had an unbelievable weekend.
yeah,
So, locally it was awesome for us. But
Golf's kind of easy, though.
why does golf have it
Well,
easy?
Like, the game will happen regardless. You just, fans. That was the only thing. Golf happens regardless.
but
'cause
for
there's
golf-
not much fan interaction in general.
yeah. I was gonna say you don't
just
really
stand
need
there and
fans for
watch.
golf.
You don't need
Yeah.
fans for anything.
No.
Well, I think that's why UFC was the first one to start because during the whole midst of everything, they were still fighting and doing all that. I mean,
The only sport
Yeah,
that
that's
I've
true,
seen
yes,
that
yeah.
I'm like, we have to have fans back is the WWE. Like,
yeah, because that was awkward, man.
it is so bad.
I watched WrestleMania with my brother. I just couldn't get into it.
It's bad. Like, when they say the WWE universe is a superstar of their own, they're right. Like, you can't have just watching wrestling. Like, they've tried to do like taped fights. I mean, Edge and Orton the other night was taped. They did a really good job with that. It was 45 minutes long, but they were just buying time because everything else was just rough. Like, you need that emotion in the crowd. You need people going into the crowd. Like, you can only have Rock versus Mankind in an empty arena so many times before you go, this stinks.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad.
And I'll be honest, like, I'm not a big WWE guy. I mean, I watched it growing up, but, like, I like not hearing what they were saying in the ring because I like them being drowned out and then you guessing what they said. It's like, did he just say that?
And now you can hear their calls.
And it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know.
Yeah, throw me into the ropes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Ruins the whole fight.
Like that'd be me. Like, you know, hey, we're throwing you a curveball.
Yeah.
You know, so, bing, bing, bing. We'll get into that cheating a little bit later because I heard there's a different team on the scope now that the tables have turned on one of the most beloved teams of baseball. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's going to be exciting. Hockey, I think, is doing a really good job. They're not back yet, but I think
They have a plan, at
They
least.
have a plan. They have buy-in from their players. They have buy-in from the owners, and they're ready to get back to it. Baseball and basketball, like, I just don't understand. Like, they're fighting for, like, third place
Yeah.
in major sports, and neither one of them look like they want to play. Like,
I
the
think
players
basketball's
want to
ahead
play.
of baseball. I do.
See, I think the players don't want to play. The owners, it's almost reversed to baseball. The players don't want to play in basketball, and the players do want to play in baseball. The owners don't want the players to play in baseball, and the owners do want the basketball players to play because they're at the point they made their money during the season. Now they just want a championship to go with it. And now that there's been a call off due to COVID and now the protests and social injustice, now there's opportunity. Was it 22 teams that are going to be in?
Yeah.
Now there's opportunity that it's not just LeBron versus everybody, that these 22 teams could possibly win a championship. So you look at these teams that probably aren't going to win in the next 5 years, and they're like, this might be our chance.
Well, yeah, it's like it's going to be like almost like the beginning of the year, and you might agree with this, where you have your good teams who have all these superstars, and they don't connect right away. You know what I mean? It takes those games.
This is going to be the summer league anyway.
And then it's going to be, then you're going to have these teams who are just like, you know, come out of nowhere and start surprising people. I mean, it might turn into that. You never know.
The only thing that I love about this is we haven't heard jack about load management in the last 3 months, and that's
Because
what's
this is
bothering
load
me.
management.
Yeah, dude. If you're not ready now, if you're not rested, get the hell out. Like, go.
Dennis Rodman and COVID, load management.
Yep.
Those two alone.
That's it. I mean, like, LeBron should be playing every minute of every game whenever they come back. And now that I know that he's getting paid full,
He's one of 9 players.
well, congratulations, LeBron James. Like, we're excited for you.
The all you can get.
My brother
deal.
called me the discount version of Tony Stark. I'm Conor McGregor. It's my little brother, actually. That's me.
The discount version. You're the Family Dollar version of Tony Stark.
Yeah, I guess so.
I dig it. I can see it. I better get on there so that way, if there's questions out there, I haven't seen. Discount store Tony Stark. Thanks, Preston. That's awesome. How about I go to the Crestview groundbreaking the other day.
It was awesome.
It was great. I loved it. And then in the middle of everything, I'm taking video, and Preston calls me out to do my job, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, man, time out. Like, everybody else is getting pictures, I'm getting video. Like, it takes a minute to get the video. Like, I'm trying to do this, like, serious, like, sky to the ground thing. He's like, come on, DJ. I'm like, Preston, seriously? Like, come on.
How was it though? Mr. B in all his glory there.
You couldn't wipe the smile off his face.
He's been waiting for dude.
So
everyone deserves it in Crestview community, and I'm sorry for gassing on Crestview guys, but everyone deserves it. There, Mr. B more than anybody deserves that.
I'm with you 100%, and it was an awesome day. It was awesome for so many reasons. Judge Dickey out there, all the donors that made this possible for the student athletes of the future, something they've wanted for a very long time. Not because everybody else has it. That's what everybody gets a bad rap. Well, they have a turf field. They have a turf field. They're doing it for safety, and they're actually also doing it because it saves them money.
It benefits all sports.
Yes.
It benefits all sports.
The soccer team can play on it. The baseball team can play on it. The softball. every sport other than basketball.
Yeah.
Put the basketball hoops on
Well, you
there.
can go down there and run on it.
Well, really,
Yeah.
No, they
in the
do. They
spring,
do
you can go
use it.
down and run
Our
on it.
basketball team uses our turf sometimes. to
you can
run.
do a tiger run. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The run the stripes.
When I was coaching at Powell's team, we were having scrimmages when no one was having scrimmages because we made a field on the turf. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We were playing baseball on the turf, so
Yeah, we played baseball on our turf too.
What are you shaking your head at over there about? No,
I hated those runs.
the tiger runs.
Yeah, those
They're the
were
worst.
Those
They're
were
the
miserable.
worst.
we call them covered fields that we run down, up, down, up.
Oh, they're the worst. Like I just remember the first time I heard it. I'm like, tiger run. Like we're bulldogs. No, you're striping the field, and I'm like,
Oh, isn't that like snakes or something?
every 5 yards you start
Yeah.
at the goal line.
Indian run.
Yeah.
The Indian run where you,
Indian run was worse.
where
I
you
thought.
have the guy in the last place has
Yeah.
to, oh
That was
We did
worse.
it on the field we had to.
I like the Indians runs though, man.
the Bulls
It was
did that.
terrible.
Yeah.
Of course, you liked him. You're the fastest kid on the
And
team.
then Dennis, well, then, yeah, I did
We
like
had to
him.
do
But
suicides on the
Dennis
field,
Rodman, I
too.
watched that one where Dennis Rodman, they're like, Michael's like, we're going to slow down because Dennis just came back from Vegas.
And he's running
And he
full.
just took off.
Listen, we hated. Now I was the catcher, and my coach my senior year made me run with the gear on because he goes, "You shouldn't be going anywhere without that gear on." And I'm like,
Oh,
he's like
goodness.
Indian run around the gym, and I'm like, "What do you?"
I wouldn't
So
have done it.
so we would get to the.
Excuse me, I got to use the restroom.
There's always
Not
that.
feeling good today.
I'll take the gear into the restroom.
There's too much doo-doo in my body. Like, there's always that one kid, right? That he's like the fringe varsity player.
Yeah.
That he's like, all right, I'm going to show everybody how
Super,
fast
yeah.
I am. Let me tell you something. That kid, we wanted to push him in a locker because when he's the kid that nobody's going to catch because we're all trying to stay back and pace ourselves. And luckily, I had a great group of guys around me that were like, listen, Yoke has to run with the gear on. he's got the knee savers on the back, and we're running. Now, Coach made us run stairs. It was a stairs in Indian.
Was that the
Middle
school
the,
gym.
the trails?
Goodness.
Yep.
Trails.
It was
That's probably worse.
awful. Well, so they don't make they make the junior size catchers equipment, which is too small for me, and then the full size is too big. And the way they made it, there's like this claw over top of your foot, so it doesn't foul off. So every time I'm running up the stairs, that little claw is getting caught on the stair, and I'm like, come on, man. So I'm like falling down upstairs, and the coach he was laughing at the time. Now he's a huge mentor of mine, Troy Burdine. Love that guy, but I will never forgive him for making me do the trail run, the Indian run, or as we call it, the bulldog run. And they're that one kid. And luckily he quit. I think he quit halfway through the season, or they just moved him down to JV when we did splits. That always was like running and like, I'm not slow, but I'm not a marathon runner. Tristan wants me more than anything to start running marathons and do distance.
Oh,
He's going
no.
to.
No, I'm not.
No
I'm
chance.
gonna get him.
No,
I'm gonna get him.
There's no
No
way.
chance.
My wife took me on a walk today, and I told you guys before we started, like I'm super sore, and I've had to crank out the Rockstar energy drink today because at 7:00 in the morning, she's like, "We're going on a walk with the girls." She walked like a pissed off Karen at Target, and she had a receipt in her hand.
Damn it,
Like,
she was finding a manager.
she was. I mean, she was like all over East Palestine, and she looks back at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah. Why are you so mad right now? Why are you walking like you're on a mission? Like you're trying to find Osama bin Laden? Like it's incredible."
He's been gone. He's been out of the
He's
picture.
dead. He's dead. We're good.
We won.
So I mean, it was one of those things like I'm not built for long distance, like 90 feet at a time, 40 yards, 60 yards.
I was gonna say you're only
That's
good for
it.
the 40-yard
That's
dash.
it, man. And then I gotta say this: I was out. We went to the playground with the girls. We walked from our house to the playground and then back. I got stopped, and people were talking about our 40-yard dashes.
Really?
And like I did, I'm not gonna lie to you. I ran a little bit. Like I ran the straightaway that Potesta ran, but I ran the entire thing. And the guy goes, oops, dropped the pen. He goes, "Oh, you're trying to get that 40 under 6?" And I looked at him, and I was pissed because I ran a 5.1. I'm like 5, trying to get under 5. He's like, "You didn't run a 5.1. There's no video showing you ran a 5.1." And he's right. He's right. So now I've got to run
We'll
again.
bring out the times and
So
whatnot.
there's also, I mean, Quinn, you're still on the clock here. It's been 45 days, so congratulations.
Keep it rolling.
Keep it the longest day. He's going for Guinness. He's going for the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest 40 ever. Potesta even called you out and said, as long as I got a faster
Not worried
40
about
yard
that big head.
than Quinn. But Ronnie had 2,700 clicks.
That's awesome.
I mean,
I probably
kudos
watched
to-
it probably 30 times.
Yeah,
bro. I'm
kudos
not
to-
gonna lie.
I watched it
love
like
it.
80
I love
times.
it. I love when the record scratches and it's like 8 seconds. I'm like,
I
no,
love the
don't do
slow-mo.
my guy
The
like
slow-mo
that.
is my favorite.
Well, the problem was when Quinn and I were cutting that, you couldn't tell what was slow mo, what was regular. So like people were like, he starts
I was
out.
gonna say, yeah, the next video was the exact same speed.
Yeah, and we didn't touch it. We didn't touch the second one. And I was like, people were like, where was the slow mo? Which one was in slow mo? But I mean, 2,700 clicks in the first 24 hours. That's pretty awesome. So you get to run, Richie, and Tristan's gonna run today. So the 240-yard dash is coming up
goodness.
on YSN. Richie's running in khakis like Jake from State Farm. So
I want to be so bad.
what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. And then Tristan, are you running in the gear?
There's no
I
way.
brought some stuff, but I forgot a t-shirt, so I might be running in a suit jacket.
Oh!
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
I'm excited. And explain yourself today. Explain the gear, why you brought it out, and what your record is now.
Well, I've had some beef going now with Kelly, and he hasn't shown up yet, so he's over 2. So I'm 2-0.
2-0?
I'm batting 1,000 right
You
now.
taking that record?
Yeah, I'm hanging it up. I might retire. I might retire at 2-0 against
Don't
Kelly
do
Pavlik.
it. Don't retire.
Nah, I'm still. There's still more I want to do in my career. So I'm
What else? What else can you do? You're 2-0 at this point. What else would you want to do in your career?
Probably just keep, being great, I guess. And
What else is there out there for you now that you beat Kelly Pavlik twice in a row?
I don't know. I kind of want to take up swimming, maybe.
Swimming?
Yeah, Michael Phelps is next on the list.
Well, it's probably not going to be in the East Palestine pool because
So,
it's
yeah.
still not full.
I don't
filled
know.
up. Can we get you in a pool?
Yeah.
And get your times?
Sure.
Like, would you call out Phelps?
Oh yeah. I'll do a double backflip then swim it.
Double backflip
Off the
into
high
the pool?
dive.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get this.
I've never
This
done
is
a
gonna be on
backflip,
tape.
but I'll try.
All I want to see is you try it. There's no backflips.
Just
You
lands
just go
right on his
splash.
back.
I'm just swimming through.
Medic. Do the old
Little
Bethesda
back
medic.
smacker.
We're going to take a break here in a minute. We got lots more on the YSN Power Hour. We're going to talk Scene Park. What have we seen so far? Richie, you had 2 you called last night. You were luckily the first guy to get a full game in so
Yes.
far. Ron's got 2 tonight. We'll talk about Mike Cifaldi, 50 years of coaching. We'll talk about the competitive balance of the league. We'll also talk a little bit about the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League. Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. There's a name from Youngstown that is just all over, peppered, and we'll talk about his stats and what he deserves. And we'll also talk about The Long Gone Summer, which, to me, one of the worst documentaries I've ever watched. I thought maybe, it was just bad. It was just really, really bad. And we will talk about a documentary that we're putting together here at YSN. All that and more. We'll take your calls as well, 330-886-0813, or chime in on the YSN Facebook chat. We'll be back right after this on the YSN Power Hour.
21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story
experienced reporters
tonight. A new Wilmington
At
restaurant.
GM Lordstown,
telling more local stories
We'll look at
baby
efforts
boy
to
is
curb
recovering from a broken.
around our
Good
valley
Community in
afternoon.
Niles,
We are
one
here in
Chicago Valley
Youngstown, right
business.
because you expect
important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
in Mercer County
Before
Court.
they become life-threatening.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. The number to call to get in contact with us, YSN Hotline 330-886-0813. We are now open on the phone lines. Guys, we talked a little bit, and we were so excited that Scene Park is back. The Class B baseball is back. And from our standpoint, dude, it has been rocking. We've had some good games. We've had some blowouts. Richie got the first couple 7-inning games last night. First, let's talk about what have we seen so far from it. Obviously, we're used to that great baseball. We're covering the 14s, the 16s, and the 18s. 2 more games tonight. Ron Podesta will be there covering the, I believe, 6 and 8:30 game. So when you look at it, Richie, what are your first takeaways just from the jump?
Well, not going to lie, I was expecting these kids to be a little more rusty than they were. They came out swinging the bats, roping shots down the left and right field lines, hitting the walls on a couple of them. So I was impressed by the hitting, and the pitchers were still throwing heat. I mean, for not throwing in like 7 or 8 months, they came out and they were throwing a couple of them mid-80s and lower 80s with their fastball, and their breaking balls were perfect. So I was impressed by the level of skill that these kids had after such a long time off. So
you had a couple looks at
it.
18U teams last night. When you saw them, I mean, were there players that stood out to you and impressed you, just kind of with jaw dropping?
Well, Chris Scandy was really good for Nightline, the leadoff hitter for them. I believe he had 2 or 3 hits in the ball
South Range
game.
product.
Yeah, South Range product. And then Marcus Fuller for Whiting came out of the bullpen, and he was unbelievable. He threw 4 complete innings after that, no earned runs. He was on fire. He shut down a nice Nightline roster, so I was impressed by him, and that he gave Whiting their first victory last night, 10-4. So he was a good prospect for them.
Do you think, I mean, they inserted the 2-hour time limit, the drop-dead time limit at 2 hours. How has it affected the game so far that you've seen, and what can they do, if anything, to try to make it more fluid?
Well, first off, it slowed the game down a lot. I mean, you're talking 2-hour time limit. It takes the players about 5-7 minutes to get out and ready to go before we're ready to start the inning. So they definitely need like a time limit or something in between innings. I'm thinking like 3 minutes, maybe 6 pitches from the pitcher, and then you throw down and let's get ready to play ball, because you and I were talking. I mean, our commercials are about 1:15. Sometimes I was running 3 commercials every half inning.
Yep.
So that's a problem. I mean, it's good for us because we get our ads in, but for them, the 2-hour time limit's killing the game. I got the first complete game last night, so there's a problem that you can't even get 7 innings of baseball in.
Yeah, if you can't get 3:45, if it takes longer than 3:45, it's too long. The pitchers are only supposed to get 5 pitches between innings, and it feels like that it takes longer this year to get them out on the field. I don't know if they're trying to get back into their midseason form, but if it's going to be 5 minutes between innings, you're never going to get to 7 innings unless it's no-hit baseball or lots of hits right at people, a lot of atom balls. So, I mean, is this something that can be corrected in your eyes? What are some of the steps you think, and who's responsible for taking those steps?
Well, first off, I think the umpires need to take control out on the field. I think they're taking too long. They're allowing these pitchers to throw too many warm-up pitches to start the inning, so I think that they could definitely limit the amount of pitches that the pitchers are throwing prior to the inning. And I think that another thing, more pinch runners for the catchers and pitchers, because they have the opportunity to pinch run with 2 outs for a pitcher and a catcher, and some teams just didn't do it. Therefore, catcher had to go all the way into the dugout, get his gear on, and by that time, there's nobody warming up the pitcher. So it was taken forever once the pitchers and catchers had to go and run the bases with 2 outs. So I think
with a 2-hour time limit, it should almost be installed. Like you just said, I didn't know that, but because I didn't know what went on up there. But wouldn't you almost absolutely just make the catcher go get a runner with 2 outs?
Some teams did, and it definitely sped up the game.
It should just be a rule in my eyes. If he's not on third, or even if he's on third, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if
it's
he's on
it's
base,
it's automatic.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, in softball, it's typically the last person who batted, and there should be enough kids on the roster that you can utilize somebody as a desert. What do they call it in softball? That one runner,
the base
burglar, or an intended pinch runner.
Yeah.
Without having it to go against it. It's a courtesy runner. It's what they typically call it if there's 2 outs. that should be installed hands down. If a catcher's on base, that should be in because
It's going to speed it up.
It speeds up the game, and there's because if you've never been in a dugout when it comes down to that, this is what it looks like or sounds like rather. It's always, all right, who's going to warm up the pitcher while DJ or catcher gets dressed? Well, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You know, like
and nobody would do it.
Nobody does it because if you got somebody out there throwing cheddar and a little bit wild,
Even as a coach, I
still
hate going out there and doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you bounce it in the dirt and you hit me.
Yep, that happens.
Not only are you in the dugout, I'm gonna have to see you after the game.
and that's it. And then you take one of the shins, or heaven forbid you take one anywhere else that's above the shins.
I don't coach with a cup in, so I'm not going out there catching the pitcher.
That's it. I mean, most coaches don't even wear cleats, let alone a cup. So, like, let's be honest. You don't want to. You want. I mean, coaches are brave though. They get those. They still feel like they can do it at 45, 46, 50 some years old. So I think that's one of the steps that we can take from the Class B League to really start looking to utilize more innings, because what we heard going into it, and it's true, you looked at all the statistics, and Scott Rourke is a numbers guy. Most games were an hour 57, so they're right in under that time limit. We haven't finished a game before last night, so that's you look at that's just one day, but we got to start kicking this in the ass a little bit. Like, let's go, boys. It's what, because then they go to tournaments, and if the same rules in tournament, I mean, these tournament games take longer.
Yeah.
So, talking to Ron yesterday, it was one of those scenarios where he did all kinds of umpiring this past weekend, and he said that there was only one game that didn't go the entire way. So some umpires are behind. We're not going to put it all on the umpires. There's some blame that goes to the coaches, and if you want to play these games, you have to make sure that the team that is out there, and we've seen this a couple of times, the teams that are out there winning are going to take as much time as they can and milk the clock a little bit. Baseball is a game that should not ever be played under a time limit, as far as I'm concerned. I understand why they're doing it, but it shouldn't be. Like, it's just not a natural thing for baseball to be played with, okay, if there's time, because that's the beautiful thing about it, is you get your outs. No matter how long it takes, you get your outs. And you saw a team last night score 5 runs in like a third inning, and they were able to hold them the rest of the way. So, going to be interesting. I think that there's a lot to be had, but I still want to make sure that we're not dogging anybody for what's happening. We're just looking for people to help find answers, to help the league along a little bit, so we can get some 7-inning games, more 7-inning games than not. And one of the guys that has been a leader for a very, very long time here, Richie, you had the chance on Sunday night to kind of watch this unfold. Mike Cifaldi, been coaching for 50 years here in Youngstown. He's influenced a lot of lives. He's done a lot of great things here, and it was awesome to see Class B, Tim Joyce, Scott Rourke, Kate Kelly, the entire Class B organization kind of let him have his moment, because he deserves not only that moment, but so many more for what he's done. He actually coached Kelly Pavlik when he played baseball, and is a big fan of Kelly, is known almost worldwide for his boxing expertise. So we'll be having a
Is he a Roth Brothers coach?
He is.
He sat front row of Rough and Rowdy.
Did he?
They gave me knuckles when I walked out.
Mike Cifaldi's the man. He is the man. And you got to see it. What was it like? What was the atmosphere like?
It was awesome. I mean, you had 21 who was covering it. Corey McRae was there shooting it, and all the fans up on the fence, even though they weren't really supposed to, but they had their cameras out. Everybody was clapping. Both teams out of the dugout, saluting him for his long tenure, 50 years. They were celebrating him as a head coach, and that is a very long time to coach. And he was very emotional when giving his speech. He had trouble coming up with words, and rightfully so. I mean, after all the lives he's impacted and people impacting his life, it's been a long journey from him, and he's not done yet. He's still got a good team here in Roth Brothers. They lost that game 3-1, but they have some good players that they'll probably be able to win a couple of games here coming up, and I like their team. They're a good team.
That's the 18U. They're 1-1 now. They got a bounce back win last night, and everybody who's ever crossed paths with Mike Cifaldi. First off, that might be the only time he's ever been short on words, because
that's what he said during the speech.
My man, he can talk, my favorite Mike Cifaldi moment so far has been when he got ejected from a game last year and made his way up to the broadcast booth, and then was a color announcer for us at Class B, and he told us exactly what he said. This is why, and he still criticized the umpire after he got tossed.
So it was,
yeah, it was awesome.
Did he coached at Youngstown East, or did for a little bit when they brought the program back? He was a big part of Youngstown East coming back.
Was he?
I think so. I think I coached against him 2 or 3 years ago when they first came back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he brought it back.
Listen,
for them.
he's a huge part of the Class B league. He's a huge part of Youngstown baseball. He's like I said, he's in the Youngstown boxing scene, the national boxing scene. Looked to as one of the experts in the area in boxing. So there's a lot of good stuff and takeaways that Mike Cifaldi brings. But for him to have the light shined on him on Sunday night it made my heart warm, because he's one of those guys that will do anything for you. He's a huge advocate for YSN. He's done a lot for us, and anytime that we're ever out there, he makes sure that we have a front row chair to whatever we need. So hats off to Mike Cifaldi and all the 50 years, guys.
It's incredible.
That's incredible.
I wish I was good at anything for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he's a great family man, and he's put his family, oftentimes he's had sacrificed family time to educate and to make these kids that want to play baseball, that want to box, he's put them in front. So there's so many people that owe Mike Cifaldi so many things, and I hope it's another 50 years. I hope we're sitting here in 50 years talking about him, coaching for 100, because every kid deserves to learn something from Mike Cifaldi, even if it's a branch of the tree that he's creating right now. So hats off to Mike. Competitive balance of the league. Richie, we talked about it a lot. Tristan, and even Quinn, you can chime in. I know it's not your sport usually, but competitive balance when there's a condensed season, right? We're going to see it in baseball. We're going to see it, hopefully, fingers crossed, in basketball. But here at the local level, if you know that you've only got a 17-game stretch, and anything goes, does that, when you're looking at the Astro Falcons, when you're looking at, being the first-time team in Ballistic, does that give you a little bit of excitement of knowing that this thing, it's a sprint now. It's not a marathon, it's a sprint.
It's going to light a fire. It has to. If it doesn't, then you're not a competitor.
Yeah.
So I think it does. I think it does light a fire. No matter what level it is.
Yeah. Quinn, you're more in the tournament circuit, but, if you know that you've only got a limited amount of stuff, naturally you can play your players a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it one of those scenarios where you look at, okay, we were going to play 50 games, now we're going to play 25. I can double everybody's minutes?
Yeah, I guess.
Good coaching.
Yeah.
Good input.
Everybody has their own strategy. And
as long as they're shooting the gun, we're good with Quinn.
Yeah,
no tiger runs.
Yeah,
you
put the ball in the hoop, you're going to play for me. So.
One thing I've seen so far is that coaches are throwing their best guys right away. And even out of the pen, talked about that kid from Whiting. He threw 4 innings, but there was another kid for Eagleware in Game 1 last night who threw 90 pitches out of the bullpen.
What?
He went 4 innings complete, 90 pitches. He gave up 5 runs, but he was one of their best pitchers. And their coach said, we want to win this game now, and they had the lead at the time.
See, that's crazy.
So they kept him going. They kept him going and going until he was burnt out.
And that's just what, week 1, week 2?
This is
week 1.
Okay, so
the one kid for Nightline threw 103 pitches.
That's
in his start, he went
insane.
6 complete, gave up 1 run, 6 hits, 8 strikeouts. And he
As
threw
a
6 complete with 103 pitches.
As a baseball guy, wouldn't you? Now, listen, I'm not jumping anybody's stuff, so don't think that. But as a baseball guy, week 1, you hold even no matter who's on the mound, 50 max maybe, unless they're throwing a no.
See, Dura Edge, they threw Will Schaefer, who's committed to Youngstown State. He went 3 innings, I believe, only like 45 pitches, but he was solid. He gave up like 2 hits, no runs, but they pulled him because he was on that pitch count. And the same thing happened for Eagle, where their starter, they only threw 3 innings as well, even though he was rolling.
I like that.
We've heard so much about these pitch counts and how coaches are going to stick to them, especially for the first couple starts. This is the first time.
Relievers are throwing up 90 pitches to 100 pitches.
We were throwing 90 pitches. It's insane.
But as a coach at the next level, or a high school coach, that if your kid has another year left, or if they're going somewhere to play, and you are watching YSN and you see your kid throw 103
pitches, and that kid is playing in college.
Do you think that there's a little bit of hey man, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You know, the kid. If you don't
103 pitches in your first start in 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not here to say anything to any coach, but if you ask the kid, do you want to keep going? What's the kid going to say?
Oh, absolutely. He's going to say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played baseball for 8 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Like your endurance is shot, but reality is your mind, you feel like you're going. So we're going to go to the YSN phone lines here. Thorny's on the line. Thorny, what's up?
Hey, I'm listening to you guys. Got a quick question for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys think, and you may have already touched on this, you may not have, do you think that it's a possibility that because there was no high school baseball, that some of these coaches are not adapt or adjusting as a high school baseball coach would as opposed to a summer league coach?
I think that's very possible, but I know for a fact that they've had meetings, at least at the in Class B, that they're going to watch pitch counts, and
right. That's what I'm getting at.
For 103 pitches, your first time out, it seems a little extreme, wouldn't you say?
I don't care if it's 70 or 90 degrees out. I mean, the whole deal is you're still looking at an arm that hasn't thrown much. And once again, these coaches do have more insight on what their kids have done in the off season. The cool part is, when we were on the 30 pitch count, when I was at, Camping on Liberty, we'd start the years, on 30 pitch counts with our guys. Literally, I mean, you had 30 pitches, and I didn't care if we were up 5-0, down 5-0, 1-0 in a game against our rival. You had 30 pitches, and you're out. You're done. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
we would stop in the middle of a batter. People would be like, well, what are you doing? I go, listen, we're teaching discipline and safety to our kids so that they're going to be okay down the road. That was the key that I always looked at. So maybe they know something more now than we did because of the indoor facilities, the weather was better at this time of year. But, man, when I heard those pitch counts, I'm like, holy shit, what the hell are these guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, when you go 103, 90, I mean, even at 70, you're kind of stretching it out a little bit. The number I heard was 45. They were going to watch 45 pitches, maybe 60 pitches, to get there. There was a kid last night that threw 60 pitches, was winning. They pulled him out, and then you put two relievers in. But I think I don't want to say there's a problem with throwing a kid over 100 pitches, but after the majors don't even do that.
No. So what happens now?
Right,
Say that is your ace, and he throws 70. Is there rules like there is in high school? Can he come back in 2 days and throw? Because high school wise, I don't know.
Well,
that's a 3-day rest.
I don't believe there's any kind of rule on that in the B level. I think you can pitch as much as whenever. I don't think there's a set up innings rule, and there may be something that I don't know about, but.
That's what I thought, but then I mean, oh man, that's.
Well, and he might not pitch for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you're gonna kind of blow it all at once for 103 pitches, you're putting yourself in just bad situation. You know what I mean? First time out.
Right, and once again, I'm not going to judge it until after we see what goes on. And like I said, the kid could be in great physical shape and has gone through this already and knows what he's doing, and the coach is on the same page. I mean, the cool part is you're watching kids from the B League again. What do we got? One kid going to Georgia Tech and some other big names and big players back in the B League. I mean, there were days when we had 2 or 3 kids at Tech. We had one at Georgia. We had people going all over the United States. It was kind of crazy. And then even our own Scotty Knox and Scotty Belden going to the SEC in Kentucky and things like that. So, it's sweet to kind of hear that stuff.
Scotty Bowman's your boss?
Yeah, Scott Belding was my boss for like 3 years.
There you go.
Coning Sports.
Yeah. Well, then it
turned
it turned into Champs. Yeah, he was my boss. I still talk to him.
That's awesome.
He's a great dude. Make sure you tell him I said hello. He's
Absolutely.
an awesome
I'll shoot him a text right now after the next commercial.
Sweet.
Thorny, while we got you on the line, I want to see what your take is on Rob Manfred and how he's handling Major League Baseball.
I don't want to jump on the same page as Poe because he and I are never on the same page. But what a douchebag right now. He's just absolutely killing me. Just absolutely killing me. I just, I'm not going to jump on the side of the owners ever because I think the owners are just killing it. And I'm on the side of the players until the players start blowing up on stuff. So I think Manfred just needs to set it down and literally say, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you guys don't like it, then go on strike, pull your strike scenario, and then let's regroup and do things for next year. Because at this pace, this year's season is going to be it's going to be shit, so to speak. It's not going to be the greatest thing ever.
How would you feel about replacement players at this point?
You know what? I'd say more power to them, but I think that would hurt the game of baseball more than anything in the long run.
Why?
Just personally, I just feel that you're going to take guys, because it's not everybody. It's not everybody in the league. There are those certain few, but the union stands up for all those guys. So at that point in time, are you going to let guys cross lines and come play? Or are you going to just say, hey, if you're under contract right now, you can't play? Like, are you looking at strike replacement players? Are you looking? You know what I mean? There's so many different scenarios that could happen.
There's a scenario where this becomes a strike, right? I mean, this could actually become a strike.
And then I hate to tell you, I'm a union guy. At that point in time, I'm stand with the union.
Yeah.
So, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I stand with the union on that part. But, are they going to tear these games apart? And I don't care if it's baseball or basketball right now. They're going to tear the games apart, and fans are going to be lost. I hate to say that people are literally watching, NASCAR and golf right now. Did you see the ratings on golf were absolutely sickening this weekend?
Outstanding.
So, and I hate to say it, golf was pretty damn good, and guess what? It didn't make a difference if the fans weren't on the course.
Yeah.
Because it was still the game. I mean, other than, watching the crowds follow and, getting a little louder at the par threes and stuff like that, it was actually cool to watch.
Which nobody cares. I mean, nobody cares about the crowds unless it's Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson at this point, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Those are the big crowds.
Chasing one of them, or the ladies in Rory McIlroy or whatever. It's nothing major, though. It's just how it is. So something tells me, what's today? Today's Tuesday, right?
Yep.
What's tomorrow?
Wednesday?
Yeah, what's Wednesday? Thorny's debut, baby. Thorny's color debut.
That's it. Todd Thorne will be joining me tomorrow night about 6 o'clock. Scene 1. We'll have that game, and then if he doesn't have to go night, he'll be following me up with game 2 as well. So we're excited.
I'm guaranteeing one game on day 1 because you know me. I might be in bed by 9 o'clock. I may have to have someone Uber me home.
Hey,
just because I'll be tired by that point.
The 5th inning, I'll make sure everybody knows that it's Todd Thorne's hour. This is about the time where he goes night. So.
Oh my God! That other game didn't start till like 8:30. You know how late 8:30 is?
Oh, it's not early.
That's
for
later
me.
than 8 o'clock. That's later than 8 o'clock.
Typically, yeah. Typically, it is after 8 o'clock.
Hey, there was a day that we'd start games at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and have no issue with it, right?
Yeah, it was last year. Richie was there till 1 o'clock in the morning last year for a couple games. So,
hey, don't scare me like that. Don't scare me like that.
You're not going anywhere. You're going to do both those games with me tomorrow with pride. So we're excited to have you, as always, back on the network, brother.
Hey, don't forget, bring me a microphone. I want to talk loud.
We have plenty of microphones. But you're one of the few that don't necessarily need one.
You're damn right I don't. So, hey, man, guys, have a good one. But I just wanted to chime in on that. That's something to look at as the year goes to see where these kids are later in the year. So,
absolutely.
Take your mental notes on it just to see where they're at, okay?
Thanks for your call, brother.
Later, fellas. Bye-bye.
That's Todd Thorne, the talent evaluator here at YSN. He does so much for us behind the scenes. People have no idea. And you talk about love. I love all you guys in many different ways. That guy I absolutely love. Like, he is such an advocate for YSN as everybody here is, but he just above and beyond loves calling into the shows, and I love having his take because it's a lot of times it's different than ours. You know what I mean? He brings a little bit of
straight facts.
Different, yeah, they're all facts, and he brings it light on different situations where you go, huh? That's why I was interested when listen. Rob Manfred might as well just pack it up and leave the United States. Like head to Abu Dhabi to Fight Island, and someone will step up. Like
Connor might come out of retirement.
Dude, listen, Connor would have to fight Potesta to get in.
Manfred and Rough and Rowdy. Bring it on. I'm gonna call him out.
I just like that pencil pusher punk that doesn't even like baseball. Like, let's go. Get baseball back. I'm so tired of this, dude. If you hate baseball, don't be the commissioner of it.
I know.
Don't be like.
Do you think he was the kid that was like picked last all the time, so now he's just like salty?
It'd be like the kid that or the person that wins a shopping spree at Toys R Us, and they're like, I don't need anything. Like, go to hell. Like, that's everybody's dream. So thanks again to Todd Thorne calling in. A lot of stuff. I mean, the competitive balance. We were talking a bit about it before Todd called in. I think there's a chance for teams, even if you start out slow, And if you start at 0-3, you still got 14 games you can turn it around. And I'm not saying you go from, from the basement to the penthouse, but you look at Ballistic and they go, okay, we're 0-2. We can still do this thing. Once we get our feet under us, that's a hell of a ball team. You look up and down that roster, and there's a lot of people, I mean, Juice being one of them, that'll tell you that's a dangerous team. Their goal is to get to the playoffs. Top 6 teams make it. If you're in the top 60%, again, you get another chance to go win a title. So I love it. I wish it was a sprint every year. You know what I mean? But when you're looking at 108 or 103 pitches and what was it, 90?
90. I know it was over 90.
Hartwig is Twiggy's chiming in saying that Shane Cato last night for prospects threw all 7 innings, 83 pitches, and 1 hit.
See, I can get on board with that, though, because that's a gem. But still, first week, I mean, I know Thorny said, like, you got 30, and that's it. See, right there, I'm torn, though. As, like...
I know Britt, and it would be good if Britt called in, because I'd love to pick his brain and say, did you ask him? And Britt's a health guy first. Like, he is in the medical field. He looks out for his kids. There's no doubt in my mind. That's why it makes me think, like, he knows something that we don't. Not that you look at these other coaches, then they don't. I mean, the kid that threw 100, 100, could have been doing bullpens this entire time.
That's what I'm saying. And he was throwing a gem, too.
Yeah.
He only gave
a lot
him
of
1
these
hit.
kids up there, you probably know better than me, but you see a lot of POs up there, right?
Yep.
So if you're a PO, you're ready to roll.
Kid's not a PO, though. I know that for a fact.
But you see a lot of them up there.
He was in the lineup.
Yeah, screw Tristan.
No, I'll just say for that example. But no, I get what you're going at. If you're a PO, you come in to pitch, once every 2 weeks and you throw 103 pitches and you got 2 weeks to rest. It's a different scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. But
because listen, and we said it again, if you're looking at it in the eyes of a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, and you say, you got anything left? I'd be very, very surprised if under 95% of the time, the kid's going to say no.
Yeah, if you leave it in my eyes as an athlete, no matter what age it was, you'd have to pull me up, like legit pull me off the mound.
Yeah, you're going to find in community ball, you're going to get that a lot more. When you're in scene, and when you're at scene, and when you're playing the Youngstown Class B League, as high as that is, you're going to have to, like you said, pry it out of their cold, dead hands before you get that ball out of there. I mean, you're going to be like, listen, you either give me the ball or you're never getting it again.
Yep.
So it's one of those scenarios you don't want to. I mean, a kid throws 100 pitches. What does he do next outing? Like, does he do 30? You have to have control. And if you're that college coach who there's a lot riding on that kid for next year, there's some concern, I would imagine. I mean, we'd have to talk to Danny Bertolini from YSU and say, listen, do you want to see any of your kids throwing 100 pitches the first time they're out? I'm guessing the answer is no.
Yeah.
Talking to Shane Davis, I'll see if I can text Shane between our next break. But do you want that? No. The answer is no. You also, if you're a football coach, you don't want somebody to have 400, 500 carries in a season and kind of wear the tread on their tires. You want some of that. You want the experience, but you also don't want them to kill themselves getting it. Mm-hmm. So if you're a head coach, I mean, right now, if you're a manager, where do you draw the line? What's the number for your starting pitcher or any pitcher? Because you said that one came out of bullpen.
Yeah.
What's the number your first time out?
First time out, I'd say, well, it depends on your outing first. If you're breezing through guys in the first couple of innings, I think the max I'd go would probably be 75 right now if you're throwing a good game.
Yep.
But if you're not, probably 50.
Okay. Tristan?
Like I said, I'm torn with what we call him, Twiggy. What Twiggy posted with the 7 innings, 1 hitter, 83 pitches. See, I'd be torn there, but still, you got to find a happy medium. I like 50 pitches. I mean,
what is that? 13 pitches an inning if you do that essentially.
Pretty much.
83 pitches, 7 innings.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. When we start coaching back in, we're talking February, when we do bullpen sessions, it's our first couple weeks are like 30 to 40 pitches, and that's off the mound. And then you bring the mound out, and you go, you bump it up to 60 or whatever you want to do. But I don't know. That's hard. It's hard to tell. I would say 50. But
50?
then I'm torn with that, so I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest here. If you're just relying on your starting pitcher to take you all 7 and you don't have a bullpen, you're not going to have a good season anyway, right? Because if you don't have anybody to come out of the pen when you don't have this kid on the mound, what are you going to do?
18U, and this is I learned this when I played. 18U is very difficult because you never know who's going to show up. Because everybody's got so much going on, so much to do, and especially at the 18U level, you have guys that some of them will never play again. They're just playing their last summer because they thought it'd be fun. They want to finish something that they started. It's very challenging, especially towards the end of the year, because that's why the rosters are so large, because you start looking at it. This kid they might be playing elsewhere. We're going to get to it. They're going to be playing community ball. They're trying to dip their toe in everything. They got graduation parties. They've got a report for this and that and the other. And some of these kids actually are football players who are playing football either the next year high school level, or they might be playing football in college. So you have to take that in consideration, because you can't just, as an 18U coach, this is where the fine line. You have to be a role model. You have to be kind of like dad. You have to be a secretary. There's a lot of hats that these 18U coaches wear that the 16s and the 14s don't have to, because 16s and 14s, oftentimes mom and dad or their guardians still drive them to the games.
Yeah.
And they know where they're going to be there because they have a ride locked in. 18, that kid has to drive to the games themselves. And sometimes girlfriends, other plans, all that stuff you take into consideration, the kid doesn't show up, or the man doesn't show up to the game. And that's when that's when you have 103, because you got no more arms. You've got nobody else to lock in. So 18U coaches have to do a lot of tap dancing, as if they're kind of running their own business, and you're relying on somebody that's not always reliable. Now, the majority of kids are, but coaches will tell you sometimes you trust somebody to show up. They're locked into the starting lineup, and all of a sudden, you're waiting. Your game starts at 6. It's 5:57. The kid's not even in the parking lot yet. Or worse yet, they're just pulling in, and you've got to wait for them. So there's a lot that these 18U coaches and umpires and administrators have to do that the 16s and the 14s don't necessarily. So we're going to get to a break real quick. We're going to talk about the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League when we come back. How impressive has that been? What is it going to be like when players are crossing over boundaries from travel ball or Class B to the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League? All that and more when we come back on the YSN Power Hour.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Today in the showers, I'm keeping my eye on in parts of Columbiana County.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN. And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, and across the table from me as we get it pumped back up, Richie Giuliano. Of course, we have Tristan Reynolds, and making his way back to the table after a nice break. We didn't get to ask Quinn what he would think, and he kind of let his 2 cents known during the break. Quinn, how long would you let a pitcher go in an opening outing?
Whenever. You tell me. You tell me when you don't want to throw anymore. You're good to go.
That is coaching at its finest, right there.
Let him roll.
The kid is literally dragging his arm off the field like a
It's his
caveman.
future. He wants to pitch. Let him pitch. I don't care.
You never gave your answer either.
I mean, for me, it's always it's true, but I always give my answer. So I mean, I agree with you guys. I think that the 50 to 75, but it depends on how he's doing. But you also
Would you be torn with that 83 7 innings 1 hitter? Would you be torn if he was going at like a 1 hitter? Maybe he didn't even give up that hit to the 6th. I don't know when that hit came.
I was corrected, and it's 12. 12 pitches per inning is the average if you're throwing 83. So when you look at it, you go, okay, if he gets through 6, and we have a caller calling in, it's Billy McCartney. So we're going to answer this, and maybe he can be part of this conversation. Billy, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing great, man. Hang on 1 second. I want to get your thoughts on pitch count, and we'll do a nice intro for you. And you can tell me if I'm completely asinine on my stance, but the first outing for a player, you have to hold to your guns. You have to stick to your guns. 50 to 75 is absolutely max. So even though they've been throwing bullpens, they've been working out for 2 weeks, you have to look out for your player when nobody else does, including themselves. So we have Billy McCartney on the phone, the owner of Max Baseball Academy in Youngstown, also the pitching coach for the Astro Falcons, and also on the staff of Youngstown Ursuline. Billy, I mean, you get this a lot from parents asking about pitch counts and things of that nature. Game 1, we're hearing some high pitch counts last night. What are your thoughts?
Well, first thing I like to say is I think it's up to the pitching coach to actually understand and learn his players first and foremost. That's the first thing I would do with our team. I know that's what we did with ours. And figure out what these guys are doing off-season wise and up to the season. Are they throwing pens? What type of pens are they throwing? Are they throwing live at bats? Are they at 60 pitches? Are they at 50 pitches? How's their arm feel? You got to communicate with them. And you have to have a pretty good understanding of how, coming back to the season, I mean, this was really March 1st, not July 1st or June 1st.
Yep.
So, I'm okay with the pitch count. Not 100 and, what did you say it was, 103? 102 or?
103.
That's a lot. My guys are tapped out. I mean, we're on a pitch count. We're a little bit more. We've been playing a lot more, so it's a little different for us.
Yeah.
But, nobody's throwing over 80 for us right now.
Where's that fine line at? And it's a great question by Richie. Where's that fine line at if your kid's throwing a gem? He gets to, let's say, the 70 mark. He's, what is it, 1 hitter last night? He's throwing a 1 hitter. I mean, is that one where you put the ball in their hands and you say, hey, you want to finish this? Or do you as a coach go in and say, listen, you're at 70. If you don't get these guys out in an orderly fashion, we're going to yank you out?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. How to win a game, or you screw up a future potentially. That's not always a good spot any coach wants to be in. But for us, is we have a hard count. That's how what I like to do is, hey, at this number, you're out no matter what. You have a no hitter. It doesn't matter. It's too early in the year for me. That's more of a coach to coach, team by team thing. But for me, we have a lot of guys that are going to play college baseball to pitch, and it's my responsibility to take care of that.
If you're at the next level, if you're a Danny Bertolini, you know Danny very well. I mean, if you see, if you're perusing YSN and you see somebody throw 103 and that player is committed to you, are you a little bit frustrated with the coach and the situation, or is it something where you go, well, we just trust our kids to be able to be ready at the next level?
I think in a situation like you just said, I think that he would probably be having a conversation with me today, just to make sure. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, I'm not going to speak for Danny by any means, but I would imagine that there would be some sort of conversation. It could go good, it could go bad, but Again, it goes back to understanding your player first and foremost. You have to be confident enough to know he's going to be okay. I know it deep down in my heart and my time and experience with this guy. It's different if it's the first time you've ever seen this kid and you're throwing him out there for 103, and he's just basically telling you. Kids want to pitch. They want to play. They've been sitting on their butts for 6-7 weeks since so they want to go out there and play the game. So you have to just do everything you can to protect them, but also let them be competitive too.
We're here with Billy McCartney of Max Baseball Academy, the pitching coach of the Astro Falcons, as well as involved on the coaching staff of Ursuline High School. Billy, you've gone through the gauntlet of emotions so far. You've had the tough call to have to sit out the entire spring season with your guys in green and gold, and you've also had the triumphant return of baseball with the Astro Falcons. What has it been like for you as a coach to watch the emotions of your players both low and high?
Yeah, it's been crazy. For me, it's just what's next? What do we do? Because everything, we were so uncertain for so long that it was just, what do we do? And then as for me, it was, okay, how do we get these kids ready in case we come back? Oh, we're not allowed to. Oh, we can't talk to them. Now we're back to a no contact period. So then it's, the kids are like, well, coach, what do we do? We sit and wait. And then when we got the go ahead for the summer stuff, it's how do we ease back into it? There was still so much uncertainty with, we wear masks, we wear these, we got to do this, we can't see each other. One person, there's only two people out in the dugout, or you got to separate. So far, it was just so much of things we just didn't know and could not control. I think for us, that was the most important thing, was it's just things out of our control. So we just got to wait and see and do what we're basically told to do.
You guys are off and running here, swinging for the fences early on. You won a tournament already under your belt, and you're 2-0, right, in the Class B League. So talk to me about what it's been like this year, what we can expect from the Astro Falcons. I don't want you to speak out of turn. I don't want you to take Pletch's thunder, but you're a part of that team as well. So what do you see in it that is very special about your team this year?
I just think we got a bunch of guys that really enjoy playing with each other. I mean, it seems like we say that every year, but it's just they really enjoy being around each other in the dugout. Every coach seems to be saying that. They have a good time. They play at a high competitive level, and they challenge each other every night. So, when one player goes out there and gets a hit, it's contagious in a sense of, it's my turn to get a hit. And guy goes out there and pitches, and he throws a gem. Russell pitched first game, and he goes out there. The next guy, McCullough, comes out last night, wants to throw a gem. Carrasco right behind him. That type of thing breeds a good winning environment.
So when you look at the younger generation of players, you coach and essentially train players of all different ages at Max Baseball Academy. You get these young pitchers and young, dads of young pitchers that want to increase velo and things of that nature at such a young age. What are the things that you're teaching these people you train to focus on, whether it's velocity, long toss, things of that nature? What's the most important thing you tell people when they come to you?
So the most important thing I tell my guys is safety. That's the most important thing. It's throwing with ease and safety. That way you can come back and throw. Availability is a skill. You've heard that in NFL. And NFL countdown, availability is always a skill. It really is. So if you can pitch, you're going to have an opportunity to play. If you can hit, you're going to have an opportunity to play. If you're always hurt or sore or tight, those are never good things. So that's the first thing that we talk about, is how to prevent, being injured and long-term things. And then obviously, what we do at Max is basically a strength program. But while we're developing strength, every day we're teaching how to throw strikes and things of that nature.
Billy Mack, one of my favorite people in the entire world. If you want to have some of the best education and learn everything from the fundamentals to the top end of baseball, Billy McCartney is where you go. Billy, how do people get a hold of you if they want to start training?
Oh, come check us out. Facebook, Max Baseball Academy. Instagram, Max Baseball Academy. Or call or text 330-507-4631.
And last thing, I got to ask this. I'd be remiss because every time I share it on YSN social media, we always have somebody asking about it. How did the Max Weird Questions come about?
You know, that's a pretty crazy story. I really was just looking for something to do that I thought was fun and funny, and I come across something from Barstool, and I said, you know what, I think I can make this happen for us, and we just tried it out at an Ursuline game one time, and it was a big hit there with the high school guys and the parents there, and kept it going.
You're killing it right now, man. We appreciate you so much. Proud sponsor of YSN all summer long, right at Class B. We appreciate you, and dude, don't be a stranger. Call in again.
I will do.
All right, buddy. That's Billy McCartney, one of my favorite people in the entire world. You want to talk about a guy that just loves baseball, loves teaching kids and educating kids on the right way to do things. That's one of the guys. I mean, and you see it with the output that the Astros put out each and every night. And the kids love him. Like, you look at from 14 to 18, everybody always goes back to Mac for his insight. And, I mean, I'm proud to have him part of our show. But you heard it. It's all about safety. And when you look at the situation at hand, guys, again, we're not knocking coaches, but game one, throwing 100, that's going to raise some eyebrows, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's 100% safety. Whether he's been working out since March or not, you cannot replace what you do on your own. That's awesome. You want to get in the gym, you want to lift, you want to throw, that's awesome. But you cannot replace game reps.
Nope.
Game reps are completely different than working on your own.
In every sport,
In
not
every
just
sport.
baseball. Like, I mean, that'd be like shooting a gun and then trying to go out and shoot 60 shots during a game.
Yeah.
Like, it's different because, as Quinn says, it's not different. You got to run. Like, you can't just sit there and have the gun shoot it back out to you. I mean, in basketball terms. I mean, the best thing that he said during that entire interview was, you have to pretend it's March 1st. It's June 1st. And I think some coaches get caught up and think, okay, we need this win. We have to start even, 1-1. You know, we lost a big game on Sunday. We got to come back. And I don't know if that's a scenario or not, but the reality is I just have a tough time letting a kid go 100. You know,
Yeah.
even if it's 99, it's not that triple digit.
Yeah.
And the 100, it's kind of like Walmart where if it's $6.99, well, I'm not paying $7. Well, it's $6.99. Okay, we're good. You know what I
When
mean?
you look at that, and here's what I do, and I mean, I could probably be the biggest dummyo when it comes to that. I see $6.99, you know what I think? $6.
$6. Yep. You know, and it's like the gas station, right? If it's $2.17.9, it's really $2.18. No, I'm paying $2.17.
Yeah.
Sucker. I mean, we can go back and forth all day. I think we're all on the same page, though. I'd like to get a conversation. It was Juice, right? Juice at Nightline, right? And so we'll talk to Juice. I'll do some investigative reporting and say, talk to me about why it's 100. And if Juice is a fan of the show, so if Juice, you're out there, you're listening, give us a call. Tommy Otto. We want to hear about what kind of took place, and we'd love to be able to get your side of why he threw 103 pitches. I'd like to get Britt on the phone and say, hey Britt, 83. What was the conversation like? Even at like 25, you sit there and you go, okay, why do you pull a kid at 25? Why don't you the other way? Why don't you let him go 50?
Yeah.
So there's two sides of the coin. There's two tales of the story. So we'll make sure that we cover them all. Guys, we promise we talk about the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League. I've been impressed. Mark Franken did a great job starting us off. The first game of the season was a walk-off win by Columbiana. Foz got the walk-off. Chase Franken stole home. That's another question I'll have, and I'll pose a little bit later. But do you think that community ball, I mean, is it still good? Is it still one of those scenarios where you can play community ball and still get all the necessities that you need to play at the next level? Or is it just for the kids who are just having fun, playing for fun?
I like it. I think it's awesome. If you have the right coaches, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have a parent coaching, but that parent might know the game just as well as anybody else. But I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome just to get out there and play because, like I said, game reps are the biggest thing you can do. And there's a lot of these kids that baseball's not their main sport. You know that as well as Q knows that, as well as you know that. they're working in the summer. You know what I mean? So maybe they want to come out and they can't put in the time that they can do up at the b-ball level or whatever. So they're going to work, but they're coming and playing, and they're still having fun with their buddies and whatnot.
I think this summer's a little different than any other summer for community baseball because these kids didn't get a high school season.
Yep.
So they feel they deserve one, and they do. So they get to play in the summer with all their buddies and all their friends, especially with the talent that Chase Franken has, and juggling both the Astro Falcons and playing with his hometown team and the Clippers. So I think it's a good thing for these kids, especially the seniors that missed out on their senior season, and they just get to go out, relax, have fun, and play the game they love.
Do you think that a player can be full-time in community and travel at the same time?
Nah,
It comes down
I don't
to-
think they can.
It comes down to the question you ask Q all the time. Track or AAU? So it's scene or community. Where are you going to commit? I think that's what it comes down to.
I think you could play part-time at the community baseball league if you would like, because it's just a fun environment. But at the end of the day, seeing you're playing both during a week as well as the weekend, especially if you're participating in tournaments on the weekend, right? So we know the Astro Falcons, they've already played in 2 tournaments. They're probably going to play in more when they play during the week, right, during their Class B league. So I think it'll be tough to juggle both leagues, especially if you're playing all week long.
And I think there's additional pressure put on each of the coaches, right? Because you're relying on knowing exactly what they did in the game that you probably didn't see, unless you're watching YSN on either side of it. But you imagine YSN doesn't exist. Makes me sad. Imagine it doesn't exist, and you go, okay, you pitched 4 innings and had 75 pitches in this game, but we need a pitcher in this game. What do you do if it's back-to-back games? Like if you play on Tuesday, then you play on Wednesday, what do you do? So you're putting additional pressure on the coaches because a kid's going to tell you, again, I can go.
Absolutely.
I can go. And then at the next level, if that kid's a senior or even a junior, the pressure you're putting on their arm, on them, their body, that not only, think about this, there's a reason pitchers only pitch once every 5 days.
Yeah.
The aggressiveness that they put into every pitch is a reason. And they talked about Nolan Ryan pitching over 200 pitches, years ago. Yesterday was the anniversary. It'll never happen again. And as Ron Potesta said, heads will roll. People will lose their jobs. Can you imagine putting a kid in to pitch 200 pitches in a week? Not even one game. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, a week. Yeah, you're right.
That'd be crazy.
That's insane.
That'd be absolutely asinine. And now, I'm not saying this is Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League. It's their fault necessarily, but travel ball, there's such a stigma, as Quinn will attest to on the AAU circuit, that's when you get seen, right? It's not high school ball anymore. It's travel ball to where you make your name. High school ball, you get your reps. Travel ball, you get, you represent your school. In high school ball, travel ball is when you represent your brand.
Yes.
This is DJ Yoakley. This is #1. This is who I am. The showcases, basketball has showcases as well as football. All these different showcases that you can go to, all these different tournaments. But travel ball is the way that you get noticed. Community ball is the way that you get your reps. So I tell my friend all the time that don't let your son pitch in community ball. Don't do it because you're going to feel really, really bad if they get hurt regardless. But you're going to feel really bad if they get hurt doing community ball as opposed to out there with the gamer. You know what I mean? And you don't use your nice bat. You use your crap bat.
And then it goes down to this. Like, say, what if he's playing both? And obviously travel ball is what you want to do, whether it be scene, whether it be travel, whatever it is. And you pitch for your community ball team. And then the next day, you get there like, hey, how you feel? We might need you a couple innings tonight. Oh, I don't know. I just threw 60 yesterday. You know what I mean?
And even worse is when they're younger. You're talking 10U, 12U, 14U, and you have to ask the parents, and you say, when did he pitch last? Do you think he can do it? Like, you're not even asking the kid anymore. You're asking the parent. The parent's always going to be like, no, he's fine.
Because the kid's younger kids are just going to, I threw a couple. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I can do it.
But the parents a lot of times, especially if the dad's a coach, he's going to rely because he saw his kid go through the winter. You know what I mean? Oh, he threw, he did this many pitching lessons. He's ready. He can throw 30 this day, 30 the next. Reality is the competitor comes out in all of us whenever there's a trophy on the line. It's a $3 trophy, and it's a $75,000 arm situation where if you get Tommy John, it could change your entire life. It changes your entire trajectory. Some for the better, some for the worse. We don't want to see kids and the arrow keep going up on Tommy John surgery.
Oh, absolutely not.
And that's why Game Changer, and this is a free plug for Game Changer and Dick's Sporting Goods, that's why it's so important that the pitch count is documented wherever. It's out there. People see it. That's why OHSAA partnered up with Game Changer. You can see when a kid pitches, how much they pitch. Not the velocity yet, but you got to believe that's coming.
Oh, absolutely.
When you look at that, it keeps people in check. So I'm excited to see community ball live in harmony with travel ball, but I have my concerns about how many seasons we'll be able to do this, and is it smart? Right now, the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League is doing a great job, but they have to keep a watchful eye on what are they doing outside of when they're with us, and so it's going to be interesting. I've been really impressed with what Ryan Wolf has done and putting that league together. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Do you think the players will play? And I've heard both sides of the story here. Do you think the big-time players will play when there's a big-time game? Tomorrow there's a pretty big game on the network. It's South Range and Columbiana, two teams that have been on a crash course for the longest time, and they've never crossed paths. Will the big players come out and play that night? Do you think it depends on schedules, or do you think that they put a little bit more stock into this game?
Well, I think, first of all, it depends on the schedule. Like we said, Chase Frank in his game for Astro, he's got to go play for Astro, right? But if he doesn't and he decides not to show up, his buddies are probably going to give him heck that he's not coming to the game.
Well, yeah. I mean, walk softly, carry a big stick, right?
Yeah.
And Chase has done his share of talking this year, and he wanted to play. He came out on YSN, and he wanted to play baseball. This game to him is huge. This is a World Series game to him, right? He wants to prove that he is that guy that everybody points to and says he's one of the best in the area. The question is, on the other side, you have a lot of talented players from South Range. You talk about Chris Scandy earlier. You talk about Jake Gehring. Everybody knows him. Trey Pancake. You talk about Brandon Mikos. All those South Range players, they were gunning for a state title this year.
Yeah.
And they hear a little bit of chatter from the Columbiana side, and they say, we're gunning for this title. And then all of a sudden, do you show up for this game? That's a question. Is this a game that they put a lot of stock into? Because this very well could be, this is a game that a lot of people want to see, but who are the characters that are playing in the game? That's the question.
Yeah.
If you were one of them and you had your night available, would you play?
I would definitely play. I think it's just a fun thing to do, honestly. It's a competitive game. I wouldn't pitch if I was a pitcher, but I'd definitely play in the outfield or infield wherever they would need me, and I'd hit. I wouldn't pitch, though. I think if you're committed full-time with either a travel baseball team or a scene team, you cannot be pitching and using your arm during these games. But I think you could hit.
If you're a parent, where do you sit?
I think I let my kid make that decision.
Ooh.
Honestly.
What do you guys think?
Because I want him to have fun. You
always want him to have fun.
Yeah, I want him to play with
but you
his
also
friends.
have to be a parent at some point and be like, all right, how much is too much?
I spent a lot of money on this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's what it comes down to.
But
too.
I mean, if they're playing on the weekend, right? If their first game isn't until Friday, then I think I'd let him play just because he gets the reps during the week.
But you know that you're going to play Monday. It's usually what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the championships and with the travel ball, because Sunday's championship Sunday.
Yeah.
If you know you've got at least 4 games coming up. Now, if you're a pitcher, if you're PO, you should be. See, it doesn't line up for 5 days. Yeah. I don't think that in my case. I don't think I let it go. I think it's. You can go to the game. You can cheer on your friends.
You wouldn't let them play.
I wouldn't let them play, especially if they're committed somewhere.
Yeah, I guess it just all depends on the circumstance, honestly.
It's not worth it. I mean, it would be fun to watch, and I really want to see that game at some point, and it's unfortunate. I don't think it'll happen. But man alive, it's not worth the other side. You always have to do risk reward, right?
Yeah.
So if you risk it, what do you get out of it? It's just a win. It's a win in an exhibition series that doesn't really count. Like you don't go to the state championship. You don't go anywhere. It's just, for bragging rights, more or less. You can do that by just doing, a BP session. Who's better? Is Chase and Jake? I mean, we could do the same thing that they did with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady for Jake and Chase and say, okay, you're going to get 3 at-bats, you're going to get 3 at-bats. Who's going to be better off it? And you each have to pitch to each other. So that would be interesting to me. But I just don't think that right now is the right time because, yes, you have Jake committed, you have Trey's committed, Brandon's still looking for an opportunity out there. All it takes is one slip or one ball back up into the kitchen, and it's trouble in paradise. So, and Chase the same way. Chase is committed at YSU.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some concern that, even if he's playing, community bowl, what's the outcome? So, you let him play.
I think it's a sense of pride in your community, honestly.
Absolutely.
So if you're not playing, I think you're letting your community down, you're letting your teammates down, and definitely your friends down.
We know Chase. He said it on Max Weird Questions. He wants to play with his boys. And listen, nobody gets that more than me.
Yeah.
I want to play with my guys. I believe in my guys.
Uh-huh.
I would be out there. But my question was, as a dad, would I let young DJ be out there? Because DJ I'm a competitor.
Yeah.
Chase is a competitor. Anybody that's playing at the next level in college, they're a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn, you're falling asleep. What do you?
What
would
I'm
you?
dying over here.
I know you're okay. You're all right. Do you think?
It's my turn to die on the show.
Would you let your Would you let your players, if it's basketball, baseball, whatever, you let them play?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I'm with Quinn. I'll let him play.
See,
You can't fool boys.
I
just
got to be a
playing
part of
anything.
a rivalry like that. Like
Yeah.
Canfield and Poland. Like
Yeah, if we were
I
playing
wanna shut
Poland-
up Poland, I'm gonna make sure that they play.
But you're playing Poland, and it doesn't count for anything.
It doesn't
I don't
matter.
care. It's beating Poland. It's the thing. Like South Range, I'm sure they want to shut up Columbiana, and Columbiana wants to shut up South
Yeah.
Range. It's just the
I
way
think
it
everybody
is.
should play.
Go play.
That's just my 2 cents.
Go play.
listen.
I don't care who you play for. You want to pitch. I don't
It's
care.
an opinion. It's right. It's
I wouldn't
not right
let
or wrong.
pitch.
I don't care. If
You
Gary
wouldn't
wants
let
to,
him
if
pitch.
Gary wants to pit, go ahead. I don't care.
But I think
I get
Gehring, knowing his talent level, he's going to be pitching Friday. Because in a tournament play, you always want to win that first game.
So what if he plays on? So you said Friday. What
Too
if
bad.
Or Thursday. They even play on
but
Wednesdays now.
what
My
if
brother's
it's
playing tomorrow.
Monday. What if it's that game lines up on a Monday and then they play on Friday? As a pitching coach, could you use it as a bullpen to get him ready for that? Because even throughout the week, you're still throwing bullpens.
You could.
Yeah, you could. You could
But
throw like
it's
20
got to line
pitches.
up. Like the stars have to
It
align.
does. And I would let.
A Wednesday game doesn't usually go well.
No.
You know what I mean?
See, like the problem is once you get out there as a pitcher, though, and you start going, it's hard to stop, right? So once you start pumping in 20 pitches, right, and you're 1, 2, 3 in that first inning, it's hard to say, all right, I'm going to hand the ball off to somebody else. My day is done.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see. I am interested to see how this shakes out. Mark Franken will have the call for us tomorrow on YSN. We've got 5 games for you on the network tomorrow, including 4 Class B, and then we'll of course have the South Range versus Columbiana matchup, the dream matchup that everybody wants to see. So we'll have to wait until the lineups are pushed out there, and Mark will have all your play-by-play call. Guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Daddy Ball here in the next segment. When is it time to hang it up for Daddy Ball? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a segment you're not going to want to miss right after this on the YSN Power Hour.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Friday night, it's fresh limousine. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, living the dream. Platform shoes, strutting down the street. It's gonna get hot in here. I hope you can handle the heat.
Over the years, you watched us grow, and as we've grown, so has the Myers Family Insurance team.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Oakley with you. I brought a few of my friends as always. We're starting to actually have like some consistency in this show. So it's Richie. It's. Do you want to be Connor or do you want to be?
Glasses will go on soon. I'll be
Okay, so
Tristan,
you're Tristan.
until the glasses go on.
Okay, and then we have Quinn, of course, and then myself included. I like to be part of this group, good group of guys. My name's DJ Oakley. I'm the host of the YSN Power Hour, and just a heads up before we get back, I also want to thank our sponsors. As always, down in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Steel Valley, there you see G. Burbick Farms. We thank all of our sponsors. We could not do it without them. If you would like to be a sponsor of the YSN Power Hour, all you have to do is go to the website, ysnlive.com, click on Advertise, and get started today. That includes all of our games, all of our shows, everything that we do. Be a corporate sponsor, be a small sponsor, as small as $100. You get started, and you have your brand, just like you're seeing right there, Joe Dickey Electric and Nightline. It can be pushed across to thousands and thousands. I mean, Potesta's 40-yard dash got 2,700 clicks. That's 2,700 eyes that people have saw that you could have been part of the YSN adventure. So
It'd be cool for someone to take to sponsor our 40-yard dash. That'd be sweet.
That would be fun. You know what we need? We need a bathroom, like a Job Time John to sponsor it.
Yeah.
Because like we'd have the bathroom dash.
Yeah.
I had one of those the other night, dude. I was doing a game at Pemberton Park, and I drank like a huge thing of water before I got there.
Yeah.
And there was no bathrooms anywhere.
No, there's not.
The closest bathroom was like 800 yards away.
Yeah.
Your boy got an 800-yard dash. Like,
They have the porta potty still?
No. They
No,
took
they
away
actually
the
have, wait, where's the bathroom at now?
Main Pemberton.
Yep.
In like the actual bathroom. So they have 3 fields.
Yeah.
Right?
What field were you on?
The one furthest from the bathroom.
Oh, you were at the main one?
Okay.
No.
Because the main one's right underneath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right underneath.
Yeah.
So I had to do, like, literally, and I felt bad doing this, but I'm the boss and nobody can yell at me. During the 4th inning, I just jet. I'm like, gone. And, like, I came back and I only missed 1 batter. So I must have done something right, but it was like, it was a pee, so it was like the longest pee I've ever had. I'm like, I'm going to miss the entire inning.
What's really nice at Scene, though, you have that connected bathroom up there
it's beautiful.
up top.
As long as Red doesn't get in it before you do.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah,
the
so that
bathroom
was...
dash is real, though. I was on a 5-mile run the other day. I got about to like 3, and it wasn't pee. And it was a game time decision. If it's coming down my leg or am I turn around and go home?
Yep.
I barely made it.
Barely
made it.
Attaboy.
The
Sometimes you
dash.
just gotta push through. You
Yeah.
gotta have that champion's mentality, and you just put it all on the line, right? You're a gambler. All the chips are on the table.
The way I was running back was the way Potesta was running his 40. Butt cheeks clenched, just like this. I was gone.
I can't wait to see you run your 40. It's and both of you guys.
I'm
We
gonna be
got
bad today. I'm
Jake
telling
from
you.
State Farm over there.
I got
It's
khakis
gonna
and
be
a
fun.
belt on.
So it'll be good. We'll have that tonight on YSNLive.com, along with 2 baseball games. We'll have, I believe it's the 16 U's tonight. So Ron will have that. I'll be up at the park. So if you're there, I'm going to take the hats with me. So we got a lot of good response from those hats yesterday.
They're nice.
So if you're looking for a new hat, we got the lid for you. If you're looking for a summertime lid and you want to support YSNLive.com, $20, and they're beautiful, beautiful hats. Snapback, so they'll fit anybody. And we're excited to give those. We also have T-shirts for $10, and we've got coffee mugs for $12.
You should get a stand going up on scene 1.
What?
Lay out a table, with shirts.
Listen,
hats,
I give you
mugs.
guys enough to do on scene 1 that if I add to Potesta's role at this point, I think he's going to bounce. Because he looked at me the other day. Because now there's the 2-camera setup that you have to do.
It's not bad.
You have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Like I had to get used to it.
I would do the stand for one day just because I want to go up and eat that chicken wrap you guys keep talking about.
No. They changed.
They changed it.
I got a chicken wrap the other day, and I was like, I took a picture of it. I sent it to my brother. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Is it still good though?
It's changed. It was good.
It was good.
It wasn't the Scene Park chicken wrap that we all expect.
Yeah,
And,
they
I give credit because the Beams and the Yakubovics are doing a great job with the concession stand, and they are so limited.
They still got popcorn now?
I don't know.
I think they do.
I think they do.
Because I'm a big
Their cheeseburgers are good though.
Cheeseburgers
They're
are
really
good.
good.
Yeah, so one of these
Hot
nights,
dogs?
Wednesdays,
I had a hot
Wednesdays
dog.
and Fridays, you come up with me, and I'll put you in charge of the concession or our stand, and you can sell mugs and whatever you want.
I'll do it. I want to go. I'm a big popcorn advocate at different schools right now. No one touches South Range popcorn.
Really?
Struthers, that's a lie. Struthers.
Struthers is good.
I've never had it, so I'm still sticking with South Range.
South Range and Struthers do it right though because they let those doors open in the back,
and you smell it,
so it wafts in.
It's evil.
I call 30-second time out to go get a bag of popcorn.
Your kids are wondering where the hell you
we'll
are.
take a pull on this one.
Yeah.
Just get a drink. I'm back.
We're going to talk about Daddy Ball. And so let me just preface this. Anybody that doesn't know what Daddy Ball is, it's essentially when your dad coaches you or your team throughout. So T-Ball, Daddy Ball is good. It's fine. Everybody's got to play. Nobody wins, all that stuff. You get to the smaller ranks, the 6U, 8U, 10U is where things start to change, right? Especially now because 10U is now what 12U was to me. So it's like everybody's playing not just for trophies, they're playing for chances to win state championships.
Yeah.
So at what point did Daddy Ball get under your skin enough to you're like, I'm done with this? Because there's some levels that Daddy Ball goes all the way up through high school. There's some levels that Daddy Ball goes all the way up through the college ranks. At what point is it enough is enough with Daddy Ball? I'll let Quinn start this one off because I'm sure you've had a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea about baseball. I don't know when that should end there, but basketball usually like 6th grade, right about when it starts to be your actual school taking over. It's kind of where it needs to be.
Okay. Q or Tristan? Sorry.
I go right on that. Like once you hit 7th grade, it's time to hand it over, because, like you said, it becomes a different animal. It becomes you're not paying to play. You're playing for your school. You're playing to win. You're not playing for one individual person. So I think once it hits middle school, it's out of your hands.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. 7th grade would be my limit right there. Because 5th and 6th, you're still playing. 5th and 6th, you're actually still playing with, either your dad as the coach or one of your friends' dads as the coach, and you're playing like the travel basketball, but you're still.
It's when you get a schedule.
You still got like
playing on the
Canfield or East Palestine on your chest, but you're playing
weekends.
Mine is
that's when your dad's free to coach.
Yeah.
My big thing is when Dad has outkicked his coverage, so to speak. When he can't educate the kids anymore to make them better from his personal experience or his coaching experience, then it's time to go. It's time to pass the whistle off or give the clipboard away to somebody else. I don't see any problem with being an assistant coach or just being a dad, because I think one of the problems that we in society get so wrapped up with younger levels anymore, so the dads have to step up. But I also believe that dads take it on their own shoulders, that they become super coach, or like kicking and screaming coach, where you take it to the next level. And listen, like, stop trying to relive your dreams through your son or daughter of winning a world championship at 10 years old.
And
like,
that's when the
kids
and we talk about kids get burnt out too because of that.
Yeah, and I think the expectations, like listen, if your kid goes 0 for 4 in a baseball game,
stinks.
You want to repeat that?
My kid's done. If he goes 0 for 4, he's done.
Do you think
Hang
that,
him up.
I think that Quinn would be a perfect example. Like, he would have a striped, like jersey. He's that guy.
Yeah, on his when he goes 0 for 3 and like the game's not over. He's just
Windbreaker.
Like, you're walking home tonight, son.
Get out.
But at the same time, though, sorry to interrupt. But
No, you're fine.
At the same time, you do get high school coaches that are true quality coaches. Dan Hill coached both of his kids, and he was harder on them than anyone else. And he was a great coach, and you can run into different situations like that. You do get honest coaches that coach their kids, and they do a great job.
There are exceptions to the rule,
There
but
is.
I also think that there's the other side of the coin where some coaches only coach because they want their kid to have a leg up. You know what I mean? They want they want their kid. Okay, well, you're not going to bench my kid because I'm on the staff.
Yeah, even if they're like you see that a lot with assistant coaches, especially travel ball. Oh, I'll be a coach. I'll be an assistant coach just because my kid's going to play.
Yeah,
and a lot of times though too, the assistant coaches, and I mean, you see it all the time. The assistant coaches that are dads are sometimes the sponsor.
Yeah, that's it too. That's it too. Because guess what? When that jersey says their name across the front of the chest and now it has their name on the back, there's some kind of push to it. You know what I mean? I think we lost a lot whenever we gave up and we stopped letting it be okay to just let dads be dads. You know what I mean? Listen, I have an agreement with my wife that once our girls are old enough, I'm done. Like I will coach to a certain point just to help out and to be like to instruct. But we get to a certain point, whatever they're doing, it's on their own. I will be a dad. I will be a fan, but I will be a dad. I think that we've lost sight of that sometimes, that it's okay to be dad because you want to be everything to your kid all at once. And coaching is a piece of that, right? We're not always called to coach. Sometimes we force ourselves into situations as parents, and we go. And I don't want to leave mom out of this because mom's just as guilty as dad is of this. So when you look at it, at what point do we cross a line and we say, okay, I've done as much as I can here. Now you turn it over to people because they're now more than ever, there's the younger generation are looking to coach because they want those 50. I mean, you look at Mike Cifaldi. If nobody ever gave him a chance, he would never get to 50 years. And you start thinking about 50 years, that was 1970, guys. Like, I was 15 years from being born. So, and I'm the oldest guy at this table. So when you look at it, you go, okay, at what point do we, it's kind of like where we're at in society. At what point do we go, okay, I'm good here. Why don't you coach? I was fortunate when I was in college that I had one of my friends come up to me and say, hey, you know baseball. I want you to teach these kids because I don't know it. I can implement the practices and I'll be the guy the authority figure, but you teach them baseball. I think there's a need for that. I really do. But I think on the other side, there's a lot of people that are in it for money first and they want to train kids and they don't want to coach because they don't want to give away free money. You know what I mean? So what's your take on that? I mean, are there people out there that are willing to step up to coach to get daddy ball and mommy ball out of kind of our where we're at?
I think so. I mean, as a personal example, I helped coach my brother's team last year, and obviously for free, but I just did it so that we could get an extra coach. They were short a coach, and nobody else was going to step up, so I'm like, you know what, I'll do it. I played the game. I missed the game,
Richie
so
ball.
I might as well get in there and coach. And there's no favoritism because there's only like 10 kids on the team, so.
Were you harder on your brother?
No favoritism
Definitely.
because you don't like your brother.
Definitely.
Would you let Quinn coach you at any point? I wouldn't. I'd kill him.
Honestly, probably would.
You'd let him be your basketball coach?
Maybe.
To you.
Would you let him be your baseball coach?
Not a chance. I would never touch a baseball bat. I don't have a clue about baseball.
We were throwing a baseball in the parking lot. Quinn threw it over a family dog.
I missed him.
No, you did not.
Oh, yeah, I did. Bad catching.
Coaching is hard. This has come from Billy McCartney, chiming in again, this time on social media. Coaching is hard in youth today because of the parents.
It is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, especially youth because,
Parents
at the end of the day,
level,
the youth, you're paying to play. Those kids are paying to play. And it does become hard in that sense, in my opinion. Because I've coached youth ball. I I think I've done it right. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I've done it right. I started coaching 5th grade, and I worked my way all the way up to high school. I started when I was coach. I did coach my little brother's team. Then he went up. I took another 5th grade team to the 6th grade team. And finally, Palestine took a chance on me, and I started running up. It does take a toll on you at the youth level. I mean, with money, with everyone says, well, that's not the name. You know what I mean? And
so let me ask you this. This brings up another question. At what point does the fun of the game stop being the main intent and it becomes about...
When you have to argue with the parents every night.
But that could be T-ball.
Then it takes the fun out of it. When you're arguing... As a coach, it takes the fun out of it. Those kids at the young age, sometimes they don't see it and they don't understand it unless it becomes an everyday thing.
I've witnessed in T-ball an argument over the batting lineup. My kid's not batting third.
That's beautiful.
Doesn't everybody get the bat anyway in T-ball?
Yes, everybody gets the bat in T-ball. Everybody gets a hit normally in T-ball.
Yeah.
But I've witnessed, like, my kid he bats third. Why? Because Andrew McCutcheon bats third? Like, is that, like, honestly, there's this stigma that your kid is Ken Griffey Jr. and he deserves to bat third, play center field. He's not left-handed. He's not Ken Griffey Jr. He's not, it's a scenario where parents put that, all of this, like, mindset of my kid is this is what I paid. That argument pisses me off, by the way. I paid for it. So did everybody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So did everybody else. What's the line? Do you think it's 7th grade still, that it becomes less about playing the game and more about winning the game?
Well, I mean, it does.
12. That's my number.
I just think it's hard because, like you said, I don't think people are going to step up and not have a dog in the fight and want to coach for free. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like I said, I did it, and I almost quit one year because I said I don't have any relatives on this team, and I'm getting phone calls every night. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't have no one here. I'm doing it because I love the game.
But you're being exploited because parents think that you're taking this kid over this kid.
In a way, yes.
So what's problematic is when you don't have a dog in the race, when you don't have anybody, and you try to cut things fairly, you're still getting blasted by parents, other coaches. I mean, heaven forbid you get to all-star selection. Holy shit. Like, if you've ever been one of those, that's
when you come up when there's like, we have 3 all-star teams this year. You know what I mean?
Really? I mean, honestly, like...
Yeah, some schools actually do. Like, they'd have like a red and like a blue
Ours,
for an all-star team.
I'm sure a lot of this happened whenever I was a kid and I just wasn't privy to it.
Yeah, you don't pay attention to it because you don't see it unless it happens all the time.
Yeah, but like every team had 2 all-stars. And like if you won the league, you got an extra one.
Yeah.
If you were second, or no, if you won the league, you got an extra 2. If you were second, you got an extra 1. And everybody else just got 1 kid.
Yeah.
When the hell did we get away from that? Like, when the hell did an all-star become not an all-star? It was just, whatever kid. I get it. You don't want to play. You're going on vacation, so you fill in. But we've gone to this that everybody deserves to be an all-star thing. Yeah. Entire teams are now an all-star team. And it's like, wait a minute. It meant something to be an all-star.
Yeah.
It meant, you knew.
You felt proud putting on that jersey.
At 12U, you knew who your dogs were going to be at the next level. You could almost envision who was going to be wearing your school colors with you in 2 years. And now, especially in baseball, you have no clue if they're still going to be playing. Because you want to talk about the worst of the worst. When parents pick their kids up and transfer them for no reason other than they don't like a coach, they don't like a player that they play with, they don't like this, they don't like that, your kid's entire life is affected by that. I don't care who you are. They all of a sudden feel that they can run away from problems instead of facing them head on and blasting through them. And the open enrollment thing in sports, I like it from a lot of perspectives, but I also hate it because there's people that manipulate the rules.
Absolutely.
And they say, listen, this team's going to stink. I'm not going to let my kid be part of that. I'm going to put him over here. What happens if your kid doesn't play over there?
Well, that's why they had to change the... I mean, I don't know if that's the reason, but they went from you could play the second half of the year And now it's you play the first half of the year and then you're done because
they don't want to play them in tournaments.
They were abusing that. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'll sit out half the year. Who cares? And then I'm here for tournaments.
Here's a question from EB Eric Bailey: is being harder on a family, son, daughter, brother, etc., family member, not showing favoritism since the other kids aren't getting that attention? I'll repeat that again because I'm trying to make light of it. Is being harder on a family member not showing favoritism since the other kids aren't getting that attention? So basically what he's saying is, I think, is being harder on your family
taking
away from the other kids because they're not getting the attention that you're putting negatively, essentially, on your brother, sister, son, daughter, whatever.
Well, I don't think anyone's gonna want me to drop F-bombs at their kids. I'll say it to my little brother.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna want me to.
But I think that what they're saying is when you're paying attention for good, bad, and different to your little brother, you're not watching the other 8 on a baseball field or 4 on a basketball court or whatever that number may be.
I think it depends
I don't
on the
know.
age.
I don't know though because I mean,
You gotta have that. You just gotta have a good balance, honestly.
Years off, right? Because I knew going into my sister's, she was a freshman when I was a senior, and I needed to assess less of what she was to realize what the team was going to be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at just our brother, our sister, whatever that is, with blinders, we don't really see every aspect of what there is. And I think that's what Eric's saying is when we're focused so much positive, negative, whatever on that, we're not seeing the other portions, the other cogs in the wheel that makes everything tick. So there's you said earlier, Dan Hill does a great job because he was hard on his kids, and he's a great coach.
Famous line, Corey Hill, you're sleeping in the barn tonight.
That's it.
Famous line.
There's a lot of us that are harder on our siblings, our sons, daughters, because we can be. Yeah. But I think that you look at it, and there could be some effect of, listen, this kid's going to get yelled at, because that's his kid. He ain't going to say that to me, like you said. Like, you're not going to MF me. You shouldn't be MFing your kid in the first place. But he's not going to MF me because he's too busy over there yelling at his kid. Like, my biggest beef with parents and daddy ball and mommy ball, whatever you want to call it, is that, like, say it to every kid. You know what I mean? Like, if your kid's not throwing strikes or your kid's not sinking baskets, don't be like, never pass it to that kid. Because you wouldn't say that to any other kid.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, throw strikes. You throw 2 strikes in a row and you throw a ball. Throw strikes. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm trying,
man. Like, relax. Like, it's not like he's not trying out there. And then the problem is, then you send dad out for a mound visit to talk to your kid, and that never goes well.
No.
Because what's the line? Your kid won't listen to you.
No.
They'll listen to somebody else. And dad or mom feels that voice, that calming sensation, like, they're pissed off already. They're more pissed than the kid is. They go out to the mound, they go out to the circle, whatever it may be, and they just make things worse a lot of times.
But at what point then, because
no popsicles tonight.
You're going to see it, though. Dad's going to talk to the kid like that, but the kid's going to talk to him like dad, not like a coach.
Yep.
He's going to be like, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
That's exactly what happened to me. Like, I went out, my brother's on the mound. I'm only 4 years older than my brother. He just looks at me and says, "Shut up, get back in the
Get out of here. I don't want to see you." Yep.
That's when I rip your face off.
I was like,
but
"You're
that's
done."
the thing. Like,
that's why I only go out to the mound if my brother's on the mound, if I'm taking him out.
Yep.
If I got something to say, I'm going to tell him
Give me the ball.
out.
Give me the
Or
ball.
I'm going to tell him, give me the ball.
Yeah. I think
Go get
that.
a car.
And then he can't tell me no then.
Go get in the car. No AC, just shut the doors.
But I've also seen it. We talked about pitch count earlier. I've seen it where a kid throws 60, 70, 80. I don't think I've ever seen 100 in like the 12U. But you look at it, because I think there's like 75 or 85 is the max that you can pitch
Especially
at that level.
in tournaments, you got restrictions.
Well, now with the U's, you got 3 innings. That's it. Like the 10U, the 12U's, and community ball at least. It's 3 innings and you're out.
But a lot of times when you look at dad being a coach, dad goes, no, he can throw more than 85 pitches. I've seen this. I know it. There's difference between having confidence in your son or your daughter and overconfidence because it's your kid.
Yeah.
Like, well, if my kid blows out his arm, that's on me. Yeah. That's not an excuse. Like, that's a bullshit excuse, because guess what? You might be on you, but your kid still has to have Tommy John. Like, you're making decisions for your kid that you're not asking them about.
Do you want to win a 10U championship, or do you want your kid to have a successful baseball career or a successful basketball?
Do you want to be able to throw to your kids?
Yeah.
30 years from now. You know what I mean? Do you not want to have to switch arms to be able to throw to your kids? Like there's questions of all different types that parents go, because listen, I get it. I'm a competitor. When my girls go out there, I don't care if it's T-ball or whatever, we're going for the trophy.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to Dairy Queen because we're not going to the other place, because at the end of the day, that's not where winners go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not keeping, you might not be keeping score. I am.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just making sure. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if we win by 1 or 100. We're winning that game.
Yeah.
But that's the mentality that gets us into trouble a lot of times. You know, I can't sit here and shame everybody because I haven't been in it. I've been in the side that I haven't had a dog in the race, and I'm super competitive then. I can only imagine, and I feel bad for my wife whenever I become super dad and start coaching at the 4U, 5U level, because it is going to be bad news bears.
Walk-up music. They're going to have all matching gear.
It's going to be bad. They'll all have Boomba shoes. And,
matching cleats.
It's going to be. They'll all be red, white, and blue. You know that's going to happen. But, I mean, like, at some point, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and go, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, am I holding my kid back? Am I being a lid on their career, their development, things of that nature? And I think that there's enough coaches, Quinn being one of them, you're one of them, and now you're one of them. It's time to let you guys take over. It's time, like, you're going to teach our kid, you're going to treat our kids with better knowledge, better understanding. You're closer to their age. You're closer to what they're looking to be, and you can be a role model for them. We in society, we as parents, coaches, whatever you wanted to say we are, we're trying to do too many things. And sometimes you just need to step back and be dad. Be a fan. Yeah. Be mom. Be a fan. Like, it's okay to be the scorekeeper. You know what I mean? Like, you want to pass the hat, start the hat. You know, take some of the stuff that the coaches don't need to be doing.
Awesome.
Pass the hat was the bomb.
Yes.
We lost like every game when I was 11, but pass the hat, we still got ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Because the parents were like, I feel bad for these kids.
Yeah.
They kind of suck.
You know, here's a 5.
Yeah,
he did go 0 for 5, so here's a 5.
Yeah, like, and like at that level, when you stink so bad, like if you get a triple with like an error, you just count it as a home run. Oh, yeah. Like, banana split. So, but Daddy Ball has got his place. I think probably, to me, it's more on the parent, it's more on the dad or the mom to be able to say, listen, I did what I could. I'm out. I'm bowing out. You know, it's better for my kid.
There is that fine line, because you still have it. I mean, we've all seen it where they're not coaching anymore, and they still, like, you know, they'll hang on the fence or do whatever. They'll be like, well, he was a quarterback last year. He was the point guard last year. He was a leadoff batter last year. You know what I mean?
Your brother chiming in, Hudson, says, Tristan benched me when I talked back to him.
Yeah, I kicked him out of practice, and then I come out. He's in my car. He put chapstick all over my steering wheel, my radio. He didn't come back to the next practice. You can believe that.
Did you make him do the Indian run?
No, I just said stay your ass at home.
So, that's when Brother Ball gets a little bit exciting. We're going to take a break. It's a 2 o'clock hour. We'll be back with more. We'll talk a little bit about a Hall of Fame college coach that should be in the Hall of Fame this year. He's headlining the class, or should be headlining the class, I should say. And we'll also talk about Long Gone Summer. What that was. It was a terrible, terrible documentary. The worst I've seen 30 for 30, by far, by a large margin. And we'll take your calls, 330-886-0813. Be back after this on the Power Hour.
They say American craftsmanship is making a comeback. Of course, at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, it never went away.
People are floored by Baird Brothers' authentic hardwood floors. They stare at our stairs and adore our doors. Baird Brothers reflects 3 generations of family craftsmanship. Visit our huge in-stock selection in person or at BairdBrothers.com.
Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Oakley with you on this side of the table. On the other side, my good friends Richie, Tristan, and Quinn Pushkar. Guys, we're over Daddy Ball. Let's talk about this. One of the legends of the Valley in the coaching circles, Bob Stoops, highlights the newest list of nominees for the College Football Hall of Fame. 18 seasons at Oklahoma, 10 Big 12 championships, 1 Natty in 2000, and is the all-time winningest coach with 190 victories at Oklahoma. He's a slam dunk, right?
Absolutely.
This is a slam dunk to get into the Coaching Hall of Fame. Also coached whatever half year in the XFL. So,
I saw that and I was like, let's go, baby. Let's go.
I mean, I'm a huge Bob Stoops fan. I think I'm just a huge coach from Youngstown fan. If you go on to do great things from Youngstown, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm a big fan.
Gem for coaches.
It is. And you talked about it the other day. And Bob Stoops is no exception to the rule. I mean, we don't necessarily follow Oklahoma closely around here, but you can't deny what he's done. 10 Big 12 titles, and a Big 12 is pushover conference.
Legit conference.
It's Power 5. So when you look at that, what else would he have to do to go in the Hall of Fame? Is there anything he hasn't done that you'd like to see him do?
I mean, he's got the national championship. That's always the biggest thing you could put on a resume, and he's got it. So, I mean, to add on to that maybe, but that's good enough to get in, I think.
I would have liked to see the XFL title. One of only 2 in the world.
The first ever XFL title.
I mean, he has Heisman Trophy guys under him. Baker.
He's QB.
All of them. All of
them. That was Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. Riley's had all. He had one. He had Heisman. He had Jason White.
But Riley's part of that Bob Stoops coaching trees. You know?
True. Yep. True.
So he's
a product of Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoops has a big coaching tree.
And
a lot of his brothers are.
And his brothers, right? So
isn't there? There's one. Was it Arizona or is he? He's at Kentucky.
There's Mike, Bob, and Ron.
I mean, Ron was in Youngstown. Yeah. So I mean, you look at it; they're all over the place, and they're all doing big things.
Oh, absolutely.
There's one in Kentucky. There's one on his staff. Mike's on his staff. Was on his staff at Oklahoma.
Any chance he comes out of retirement?
No.
So I mean,
you don't think?
He did do the XFL thing. What if he comes back and reunites with his brothers or something? Just it's the OC or something.
I mean,
there's no way that he will ever.
How cool would that be if all the brothers got together and won a natty?
Bob has to be the head coach. There's no way.
They would all throw haymakers at each other. I'm pretty sure.
That'd be sweet though.
That would be cool to win a natty.
Bob just has to walk in there and be like, I'm the best. I'm the best one of them all.
Well, I think there's.
And if he's in the once he's in the Hall of Fame, then
listen. When you deal with siblings, it's always going to be fisticuffs. You more than anybody know. So.
Oh yeah, it is.
Let's talk a little bit about Tristan. Your brother Cameron told me a story one time where you had this van. And how many brothers do you have?
I got 5 brothers.
5 brothers. Wow. No sisters, right? So you look at it, you guys were all in the back of a van. Mom went into Walmart or some store.
Royal frickin' Rumble.
In a van.
In Virginia.
In Virginia.
Hot as hell.
So tell the story. I mean, Mom, let's pick it up here. Mom gets out of the car.
Mom gets out of the car. She goes into Walmart for something. I can't remember. My 2 oldest brothers, Landon and Jordan, they started fighting. I just like action, so I try to get in there. Cameron grabbed me. Preston is probably in diapers at the time. Hudson was sitting in a car seat. We were climbing over him, swinging over him. It just turned into a brawl, and then it just stopped out of nowhere, just like that.
When Mom came back,
we thought we saw her, and we were like, stop, Mom, and it wasn't her. But like we just stopped. We were just like, and then that's when the crap talking started. But
that's, I mean, if you've ever seen these guys together, it is a constant battle. So I imagine the Stoops were very much the same when it came to competitiveness. we've had softball games to where Tristan, Cameron, and Jordy are in the outfield. It's left, center, and right center. And they're arguing, fighting with each other. Like, going to throw fisticuffs.
Yeah, don't be trash. That's what we always say to each other. We run out. Don't be trash this inning.
Don't be trash. But one of them makes a play. It's one of those old unwritten rules where I can talk trash to my brother, but you can't talk trash to my brother. Because if anybody tries, I learned quickly, if anybody tries to take a side, you're automatically the target. Like, it goes from they're fighting each other, and then all of a sudden, they turn to you, and you're like, oh boy, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean anything I said. So it's. I think the Stoops are probably a lot like that. If you had to say, I mean, do you think Bob would ever want to coach at the professional level? Other than the XFL?
That's tough because Saban tried it, and when you look at Saban, like he said it to this day.
Dolphins, right?
Yeah, he said, what would you never change? And he's like, I would never would have left LSU. That's on top of all the stuff he's already done at Alabama.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, because would it tarnish anything? Would it put an effect on his resume? Would it?
Just the fact that you look at Nick Saban like that tells me probably.
Yeah.
Because I look at it like I don't even remember. Was he good with the Dolphins?
No, they went like 0 for like 2 years.
They were bottom of the
Yeah, they like 3 wins. Here
That's like regular year for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It won't tarnish anything in my mind. I mean, Saban's still one of the best college football coaches ever.
But for him,
failure in
but
the
for
NFL
him to
didn't
say,
matter.
I would never would have left LSU.
That speaks volumes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that Bob ever thinks, man, what do you think I could have done with some of the arms that I had under me that was came in after me? I think he's one of those guys that can help you win a championship. He's a coach he's a difference maker enough to where he can be the difference maker of if you win a championship or not.
Yeah, well, the year after he left, they made the college football playoffs, right?
Yep.
That's a Stoops team. Without Stoops, and they blew that lead, right? If Stoops is there, do they blow
There can
it
be arguments on both sides.
But okay, yeah, I can get on board with that. But
because there's nothing that drives me crazier than when people say that Mike Tomlin won with Bill Cowher's No, wait. Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl out of all those years. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. I liked Bill Cowher. Mike Tomlin won that Super Bowl with those players. Bill Cowher.
Bill Tomlin.
Bill Tomlin could not. But like, I hate when people. I don't hate it. I dislike it, and I see the other side of the argument where would they have done? I mean, sometimes like when your dad talks to you, you sit there and you go, okay, yeah. It just turns into wah 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 wah. You know.
Would Stoops let that lead go though? That's tough to tell too. That's a hard question to answer.
He was a defensive coach though. Would have had a better shot.
I mean, I think that if I'm him, there's always that doubt, like, that could have been me. You know what I mean? I could have done that, or I could have done better. But I think he was a huge supporter naturally.
Oh, absolutely. He was like almost at every game.
Yeah. And then he jumps on the XFL, and there's a story on ESPN that I can't wait to read because it talks about the behind the scenes on how the XFL fell apart. For the life of me, I can't figure out how the hell it fell apart. Because it was just like, Corona, XFL dead.
Yeah.
Never coming back. And I was like, wait a minute. It costs like $35 to run this league. Like, it's not an expensive league. Like, everything is...
I thought when it came to XFL, I thought the way I see it, and I'm probably completely wrong, but I was like, maybe the people that put it on, like McMahon and all them, are like, hey, listen, we've already tried it once, it didn't work. This is our last time. If something happens and puts it in, I'm done because I'm not striking out a third time. So, like, this is it. This is it.
I don't think Vinnie Mac was too enthused about being in it. You know what I mean? I don't think that he was necessarily bought into everything he was supposed to be doing. So it's interesting to me that at the end of the day, he did put the kibosh on the XFL. He did say, this is it. I mean, he was paying Oliver Luck a lot of money. And I think Oliver Luck was the highest paid employee, including the players.
When I saw that, I was like, oh man, Andrew Luck's going to the league. Because Oliver Luck was
You
there.
think Andrew Luck was going to the XFL?
I thought about it. Come on, didn't that ever spark up in your mind?
I thought, and we'll get into this, I thought Colin Kaepernick would have been the headliner for that league.
That'd have been sweet. Did he just sign with someone?
No, I didn't see him sign. Roger Goodell came out and said he'd like to see Colin Kaepernick.
I thought the Jaguars signed to a deal.
I don't like that Goodell flipped on this. I don't like this at all.
Well, he's very flaky.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only harder flip we've seen is Rob Manfred saying, we're 100% going to play baseball. Oh, wait a minute.
No, we're not.
Scratch that. I'm not confident.
Yeah.
Like commissioners just need to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, they're paid by the owners. They're essentially just, what I've come to realize is they're essentially just bookies. You know what I mean? They're puppets that have to listen to the owners and make nice with the players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop talking about players. And why? Colin Kaepernick had a tryout. He was late, number one. He changed to where it was supposed to be, and everybody saw it and they went, he isn't that good. He didn't get better, and he wasn't good enough the first time. You know, he went to the Super Bowl, but did he win?
That's when the league started changing. You saw all these
scrambling.
Yeah, and it was a different. You're used to this pro style, and now you see it was just a different type of ball.
Yeah,
it was, in my opinion. And everyone can fight this, but you watch it in the draft, they always critique mechanics.
Yeah,
always like, oh, he throws this way, he throws this way. Like, Colin Kaepernick got critiqued on his mechanics. You know what I mean? So what's that different than Tim Tebow coming and getting getting talked about with his mechanics? You know what I mean? I mean, granted, two different players, but mechanic-wise.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick a little bit when we come back. We'll take a quick break here on the Power Hour. Call in 330-886-0813. Back after this.
Hey, my Ohio friends, it's Mike Ditka, and I know great talent and heart when I see it. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are average real estate agents, then there are true champions. Kelly Warren is one of those champions, and you have it right there in your own backyard. Kelly outmarkets and outsells every agent in the Mahoning Valley. If Kelly can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, Kelly will buy it. Get your home sold. Call Kelly Warren today at 717-2689 or go online to kellysoda.com and start packing.
You can feel it. Baird Brothers' traditional craftsmanship. You can see it. Baird Brothers' timeless style. And you can afford it. And find everything at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is real hardwood, yet beautifully affordable. Floors, moldings, interior doors, bar rails, and stair parts. All within your means and without a care. Start at BairdBrothers.com. You have made it. Your home.
Teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams. 21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story
experienced
tonight.
reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories
We'll look at
Baby boy is recovering from a broken.
around our
Good
valley.
afternoon. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County Court become life-threatening.
21 News is our Valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Look at the beautiful lid on that side. And we got a mug. We got all kinds of stuff. And props to... we had a fan come in. I don't know. I probably shouldn't say their name because it is Father's Day weekend. And I don't know if that hat was supposed to go as a Father's Day gift. So I'm not going to say the name of the person that got that hat. But we just sold another hat. $20. That hat can be yours. It's awesome. It is a... It's made by a company that I've only heard of a couple times. We rolled the dice. We did a test. We only got 36 hats, and I think we're down to like 25 now. So they sell quickly. So if you want a YSN hat for Father's Day coming up, make sure that you check in. Also, we have the YSN mugs. One side has the word mark. The other side has the shield. Those are running for $12. They're 14 ounces, so that's a lot of coffee. That your dad can handle and probably going to need it because we just talked about Daddy Ball. Probably going to need to choke down a few cups of coffee. And we also have T-shirts. T-shirts are on sale. They have the blue word mark across YSN, and then the white ones with red have the shield. Those are for $10. So make sure that you get well represented for YSN gear coming up here for Father's Day or for the summer. So we're going to... take a call here, and I think it's our good friend, Mr. Britt Taylor, checking in. Britt, is this you?
Yeah, this is me.
What's up, Britt?
Not much. I think you need to take off that Astros hat and put something else nicer on.
Well, we've got some questions for you, too, my friend. 83 pitches last night. Talk to me about the conversation that you had with your starter.
You know what? Shane was going, like first start, I was probably only going to go like 5 innings at the most. His pitch count was pretty low, and I think we had we were at like 60, 70 after like 5, and I was going to stop there. And, he was pitching a one-hitter, and I said, how do you feel? And he was actually getting stronger, and, my gut was like, okay, we're going to stop there. And,
yep.
and his dad is my longtime assistant, and he looked at me and goes, no. I said, okay. I said, we'll let him go, and he was fantastic. He finished the game. He did great. It wasn't a full 7 innings. I think it ended up being about 6 because, well, no, it was a full 7 innings. I was thinking of the next game, but I mean, he looks great. He did fantastic. Feels good today. So, we got a 4 or 5 man rotation, so he's going to get plenty of rest, and he'll be in good shape.
So there was a point where you're like, all right, we got to stop him, but Dad said no. What's going through your head? Because you're trying to protect your pitcher, and you've also got a few more games to win to get into the playoffs and set yourself up, and he's going to be a big part of that.
It was going. I mean, I know Shane well, and I know he's been throwing all off season. He's been going. He's been staying in shape, so. I knew it wasn't a question of, well, this kid hasn't thrown at all, and he's pitched for us in some scrimmages. So, I mean, he was in. It wasn't like he hasn't thrown at all. He was in good shape, and he was good to go. And I honestly did want to pull the plug after the 5th or 6th, and I had some guys ready to go, but I let him go, and he did great.
So you've had a couple of these games under your belt now. How do you feel about the time limit? What are some of the things that we can do to speed the game up so we do get 7 innings?
Well, that is a sore topic right now with a lot of coaches. in the
I can
league,
imagine.
And I don't want to say too much other than I think maybe we need to rethink it a little bit. We even in our second game last night, and I had some issues with that on the other side of this, on the other dugout. There was some Houston Astro like things going on that dugout, which we can talk about in private, and it's also already been shared with Scott Rourke, and he is well aware of it. But you get into a situation where and yes, this whole league is about the kids, but the kids also want to win the game. I mean, yeah, the kids want to play. It's about them playing, but the kids, their goal is to win. They don't go out there because everybody gets a trophy. Those kids want to go out and play and win. And you get in a situation like we were in, and the same thing Creekside was in the night before, where you're down by 2 runs and you have second and third with no outs, and your 3 and 4 hitter, who are both 3 for 3, come into the plate, and all of a sudden you got to quit the game. It's tough. It's really tough. I think it's something, and I know I know he's thinking about it right now, but it's maybe something that needs to be changed. And I know for sure that that's not going to happen in the playoffs.
So one of the things that we've seen from our vantage point is between innings have been really, really long, like exceptionally long. What are some of the things that we can do? I mean, naturally, going from 5 pitches, do you feel pitchers need 5 pitches to warm up every single inning?
They don't. There's a couple things. There's probably a handful of things you can do. One, obviously, you can tell your kids to run out. They just don't, walk out. Whoever's on the bench, pick up whoever made the last out. Be prepared. It's good to have lots of coaches. Everybody's got responsibilities. Get the kids out there right away. And if you've got a second catcher who can go out there and throw those 5 pitches, it should only take a minute and a half. It shouldn't take that long. You should be prepared, and it's really up to you to make sure that you're getting your defense out there.
So one of the things we've seen is the pitchers taking their time. You know what I mean, and through their pitches, not just the 5 pitches.
And I'll be honest, here it comes. That's one of the things that happened to us. We were in that situation last night with second and third, and no outs, and the opposing coach decided to go out and spend his time talking to the umpire, questioning calls, and he ate up time, which then time ran out.
See, and I think that's where time needs to stop. You know what I mean? There needs to be how many minutes was he out? And this is going to be hard to do,
Right.
because when we started this, and I think, Britt, it might have even been your interview, that everybody was just so excited to play baseball. And I asked the question, how long does it's going to be great to play baseball, but when does the competitiveness come back? This is just about playing baseball and enjoying each other. But when does that come back? And it sounds like it didn't take but 3 pitches to come back.
The competitiveness, and like I said in my interview, the competitiveness was always there. The competitiveness is there from meeting number 1 in September, or even before that, when you're trying to put your teams together. That's how and that's what makes it is really one of the things that makes the Class B league so great is you've got 10 managers who are jockeying for positions, for players, and everything else, and it is a super competitive league. And whether it's COVID or whatever it is, that league will always be competitive no matter what. And you can say, well, like I said, it's all about the kids. Yeah, with the kids want to win too. They're out there. I can guarantee you that I had 17 kids on the bench last night who were not happy.
So when you look at it from who does this fall on? I mean, to police this entire the time limit, all the things. Is this an umpire thing, or are coaches going to have to police themselves, or they have to police each other? Who does this come down to, and who's going to have to step up to the plate?
Well, I think those things also come down to integrity, plain and simple. And I mean, maybe you can create some rules as far as that is concerned. But it also, honestly, I think that comes down to integrity. There's always going to be gamesmanship, but it really comes down to integrity. I will always do the right thing. I will always do the right thing. Yeah, I want to win, but I will always do the right thing no matter what. And I'm not going to pull punches that way in order to try to win a game.
Comes down to something we always learn. It's never the wrong time to do the right thing. Britt, you're a coach, obviously, and you have a stellar athlete in your family. Your daughter, Maddie, is outstanding. We talked a little bit today about daddy ball. When was it time that you kind of came to the realization, you looked in the mirror and said, this might be a little bit over my head, and I might want to pass her along to some different coaches and stop taking the reins on this?
You know, that is tough. It's really, 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 really tough. And we see it all the time, even in 18U baseball. And I had the fortunate, I never really, because I was actually coaching my stepson at the same time that Maddie was playing. And so I never really got to coach her other than in T-ball and in coach pitch. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad I didn't have to. I do coaching, obviously when we go home and there's conversations. But I had a great opportunity to coach my stepson in baseball for years, and he kind of broke away and went the route of his uncle, who's a professional golfer. And once that happened, it was, in a sense, for me as a coach, it's actually liberating a little bit, because not to say that I didn't want to coach him, but because as a coach, and if you do have at least a little bit of a level of integrity, you have that in the back of your mind that, okay, yeah, my kid is out there and I'm playing him and I'm putting him in a certain position, but like if he starts making mistakes or does certain things, then you start to question, okay, are people, if I keep him out there or don't make changes, are people going to look at me as if I'm playing daddy ball? So then you've got that in the back of your mind constantly, and I think that's one aspect as far as being tough. Now I'm seeing it this year already on another team where love is blind, and unfortunately sometimes you'll see a parent who's coaching and their son maybe shouldn't be out there, and they're putting them out there, and it's tough, and it's hard to break it. I mean, every parent thinks that little Johnny is going to be that next
Ken Griffey Jr.
Great Ken Griffey Jr. We talked about this in that podcast about even the freaks of nature conversation, and everybody thinks their kid is going to be a Division I or a professional athlete, unless you're watching them every time going, holy cow.
Hi, holy cow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Because when you're watching TV and you see professional athletes out there, you don't realize how good they are, because they're playing against other freaks of nature per se.
Exactly.
And parents don't understand that unless they've actually faced that level of competition sometimes. And love is blind, and everybody wants to think that their kid is something special, which they are, and it's tough. And that's I always, like with Maddie, I try to question myself. Is this are you getting a little bit too hyped up about this, or so it's tough. It is tough. I mean, no matter what, you love your kids, unconditionally, and it's a problem that we will always see in youth sports, unfortunately.
Britt Taylor, the 18U head coach of the Prospects in Youngstown Class B, also a stellar member of the YSN team here. Britt, a couple more questions before I let you go.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you, what has been the biggest jump from 16 to 18 that you've seen so far? We talked a little bit about 18U coaching being a balancing act, because sometimes with an 18-year-old, you just never know who's going to show up, no matter how many times you put a lineup together. What has been the biggest difference you've seen from that jump this year?
Well, as far as kids being there, I really haven't had much of a problem.
Okay.
I have had like a couple things, hey, I got to work. Okay, great. And that's why, it's really important for you as an 18U coach to make sure that you've got a big roster and you've got enough, position players and pitching to fill that in case that does happen. And then also communicate with your 16U coach that you can bring players up because sometimes you just never know. And the biggest difference in the kids is just the size, the strength, and I see it every year, not just from little B to big B, but 15 to 16, and 16 to 17. These kids just get bigger and bigger each year, and I stress to the boys because we're a young team, and I stressed to them last year, get in the weight room. You've got to be working out. You got to be squats and deadlifts and get stronger. And that's the biggest difference.
And then finally, we talked about Daddy Ball a little bit, but one of the hardest things that when we discussed that aspect of it is it tougher for you? I mean, you said you coached Maddie a little bit in T-ball and a little bit after. Is it tough to not be harder on your own kid than on others?
Oh, it is, because you naturally, everybody is always tougher on their own kid because that is just so natural. And Maddie said to me, "Dad, I wish you would have coached me." I said to her, no, you're glad. You probably hate your father. You're glad that I don't coach you. Actually, and that's actually, and because her and I spend a lot of time watching professional baseball and softball together, and she wants to coach someday, and I fully anticipate her joining me down in Class B.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. We're all excited for Maddie. We're all excited for you, and you never disappoint. You always stir it up here like it's the WWE. So we'll make sure that you're on one, and we'll have some matches after the actual game. That's Britt Taylor here at YSN and the head coach of the 18U Prospects. Thanks, Britt.
All right, thanks, DJ. I'll see you later.
That is Britt. He's always so good. Like, Britt has this unbelievable ability to just call it like it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether he's on a YSN mic, whether he's on one of our shows, whether he's coaching you, he's not afraid to just let it loose.
Oh, boy came at next right away.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's not afraid to call it just the way it is, and that's why he's such a good play-by-play announcer. And he's been a stellar athlete, and now he's living it as dad of a stellar athlete. Yeah. Maddie Taylor is something special. She is. I mean, if you talk to Anthony Hartwig, who is our resident expert in softball, he says that she's got D1 talent written all over her, and she can be one of the best in the world. So you look at that awesome. Right here in Austintown, Ohio, and close to the YSN family, a huge, huge fan of what we do. So we want to thank Britt for taking time out of his day. I did call him out. I didn't call him in. Like I didn't text him or anything. So thanks to Britt for calling in. He's always good for one or two haymakers. That is sure to shake up the Class B league. I know that. I mean, Pletcher told me straight up that he heard the interview with Britt, and it was a shot across the bow. So, but Britt likes doing that. He likes putting pressure on his guys. It's all good natured. He doesn't mean anything bad to anybody, but he will tell you when you're right. But he will also tell you when you're wrong. So, excited to kind of look into that backstory last night and see who it was and what because you were there.
Yeah, but I wasn't on.
You were on that field. Okay,
yeah, I was on one.
So
I don't know if probably two or three. They were. Well, it had to have been two.
So
or three.
what was that?
There's only three fields.
I'm interested now, and I'm taking a trip up there tonight. So you're damn right that I'm going to figure out what's going on up there. I mean, it sounds like it was just a little bit of playmanship. Yeah. So but they said Astros stuff, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I was like, what? And then he's
I didn't think they played.
Houston Astros. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Now I get what you're going.
Because if you talk to Pletch will tell you that every player in the organization circled the day that they play the Prospects. So because of the interview. So it's going to be exciting, and I want to make sure that we have that no matter what field
it's on. That's the day I'm selling gear if anyone wants to come up.
Tristan's going to do pillow fights that night. So we're gonna do a pillow fight challenge where Tristan's just gonna throw you a pillow and you guys are gonna have at it. So.
Either you want to fight me or not with a pillow. Just gonna throw it in the air.
Are you gonna dress like that?
Yeah, this probably.
Looks like a salesman.
He does look like a salesman.
I got a jack of all trades, master of none, but I can do it all.
I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you for 1 minute. You ooze confidence, and that's why we love you so much. You got a cult following here on Power Hour.
I love it.
People love you, and except for your brother. Your brother's calling you a liar on social media right now.
That's okay.
Says lies. I never did that. He never rubbed the chapstick all over the steering
That's okay.
wheel.
You see his hair lately?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Is it bad?
It's some off the air stuff. I'll have to tell you who I think he looks like.
Okay.
Comparison.
All right, I'll take that. It's not as clean as this guy, is it?
That's super clean, bro.
It's super clean. That's tight. As my friend said,
He's got white hair.
He's got white hair?
Yeah.
He bleach it?
Like 6 times. Like
The Golden Girl style?
Yeah.
Betty White?
Yeah, like this white right here.
That's crazy. Why?
I don't know.
Because he's your brother.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think you do that to your hair. You're not too far from this. You kill all those roots.
Absolutely.
You're
man.
coming.
Absolutely.
Somebody told me because I wore so many hats, and I said, if that's the issue, you've never seen my father or my grandfather because I'm headed for bald.
My barber told me that's not true though, with the hats and whatnot.
Listen, I knew I was cruising for a bald head. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Going up the tree. When you look up and you go, okay, that guy doesn't have any hair. That guy's trying to hide that he doesn't have any hair. Like, I knew, and I told my wife, I said, when it starts going, it's gone.
Yeah. My buddy said he got one because he has a bald spot right here from wearing hats. I'm like, bro, you had that bald spot in 3rd grade. Let's get real. Come on now. They ain't that.
You wore a lot of hats between birth and 3rd grade.
Yeah. He wore the hospital hat until he was in 2nd.
Takeaways from, great conversation with Brett. You're always going to get what you're looking for. He's never going to hold back. But he even said, there's some problems with the time limit, and it sounds like Commissioner Scott Rourke is going to have to address some of this. So,
what's to be expected though?
Baseball doesn't. It's not supposed to have a time
exactly.
limit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No games are even going 7.
Yeah,
So
we had
there's a
2
problem.
so far.
Yeah.
And on YSN.
And I didn't even really the second game that I had didn't really count because the kid hit a fly ball to center field and the guys were just running around the bases.
Yeah.
And they threw him out at second. It was double play to end the game, so it didn't really count. Because they told
that was the second game.
It was the first game. They
Okay.
told the kid it's the last at bat, right? So the kid hits a jack to center. Center fielder actually makes a good play. Goes back, catches it like near the warning track, and just guns it in, and it's like a double play. So the game wouldn't have been over, but they were literally just running around the base. They didn't even care.
Your second game, I was watching your second game because I had a little bit of time. I was writing and doing some of the videos. But the second game, when it was over, you were like, "I'm out of here. Peace out." People don't realize how tough it is to do a doubleheader. It takes it out of you because you have to stay entertaining, you have to stay informative, and you're doing 17 jobs on behalf of YSN.
Well, and Red wanted us to get out there. He was shutting off the lights and stuff. So
Don't listen to him.
I'm out.
Don't listen to him. Red is not going to dictate if we're allowed to be in the booth or not. I love Red Baker very much, but we're not on Red's time. We're out there to promote Youngstown Class B. So don't ever let him be the guy. He tried that with me the other day, and I was like, no, you're going to wait till I clean up, and I'm done. So, we have a job to do, and we do it on behalf of Class B. So, I know Red wants to get out of there, but he's only done 2 games too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times, so he can wait.
How many games a night they do out there? They do 2?
2 on each field. So normally 6 games.
What do they do like weekend wise? They go all day?
All day.
All day.
All day. And that's, if you're out there, you want to announce, if you've ever thought about it, we're looking for announcers for Class B and for the Mahoning Valley High School Baseball League. So now's the time to join YSN. We got if you look behind Quinn and Tristan, there's a lot of logos on that wall, and it could lead to you being the voice of one of those schools in the fall. So reach out to us, info at ysnlive.com, or reach out to our social media department and get a hold of us there if you think that you'd like to be part of the YSN announcing crew and join the team here and the family at YSN. It's fun. I love it. Yeah. I missed it so much.
Yep.
And I told you the first game, and you probably had the jitters too. The first game,
definitely did. Yeah.
You get those bubble guts, and once you get through the first inning, it's like,
I'm ready. Let's
I
go.
love it so much. I can't wait.
And it's great baseball too. These kids are good.
That's the thing.
They're swinging wood bats and they're smacking the ball around.
There's some people that are like, I don't want to do 14s. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the next generation of great baseball players. A lot of these 14s are playing 16. You know
and
what
some
I mean?
of the 16s are playing 18. Like
18.
AJ Avrilla made his debut the other night.
Yep.
Kraska is also playing Big B. So.
Kraska is a monster.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Monster. Pete Kraska is going to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, you go, holy cow. Like, that kid is a stud. In his swing, my goodness. If he touches a ball, it reminds me of he's a nice kid, so I don't want to insult him. He's the kid from not the Rookie, the Clint Eastwood film, Trouble with the Curve.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, I know
everything he touches is gone. I mean, he is a big swing. He's got a younger brother that also plays in the Astro organization, I believe. So it's huge. Like, he is a stud, and he's going to play for Georgia Tech.
That's awesome.
Which is, if you ask Aaron Walker, the mecca of baseball down in the South. So exciting to see the talents walk through the doors at Scene Park, and we're more than happy and we're more than excited to be able to help them with their recruitment because, as it was so pointed out, there's no college coaches that are allowed to be on campus at Scene Park right now. So all eyes, we had 2,300 hits last night. Richie was in front of 2,300 sets of eyes on YSN. You can't tell me that one or two of those guys weren't college coaches.
Had to have been.
Had to. And in the word's getting out. So make sure that you are able to catch some games at Scene Park. And if you're not, you can certainly catch them right here on your sports network. We've got 2 tonight. Ron Podesta will have the call, so that's going to be some good calling. We love when Poe calls.
Does he umpire up there too?
He does. He does. And he according to him, he got the worst sunburn of his life. And it disproves.
It was bad. I was watching the show yesterday. I'm like, what happened?
Podesta was the color of our wall. I mean, all you saw were blinking eyes, and you couldn't see anything else because that's how deep red. He looked like Sebastian from Little Mermaid rolling in here. So he's excited for tonight. He's excited to get back and calling baseball. I know we're excited. And hopefully, if I know Scott work like I do, he's going to make the correct adjustments and make sure that teams stay true. You know, the integrity thing is a big – there's unwritten rules in baseball. And it's all about integrity. It's all about coming out down to – yeah. I mean, listen, everybody wants wins and losses, but you got to do it the right way. And baseball is a game of cheating. I mean, it naturally is. And you talk to Podesta, you talk about amphetamines, the steroid era, you know. But there's little things that you can do in a game. It's a game within a game that you can leverage yourself to put yourself out there a little better. Hopefully, you know, I don't know the situation, what happened last night. Like I said, I'm going to dig in, but hopefully they can pick up the pace of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 3.5 minutes for half innings are bad. That's bad.
It's even more than that.
Yeah, and you
like 5.
The one you had last night, you did 4 breaks, and I was like, wow, that's long.
And I still got back in time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and you still had we call it reopening, right?
Yeah.
So what you still had to reopen the inning and say, this is Richie Giuliano back at, you know, you shouldn't have that. You know what I mean? There should be bang, 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 bang.
What's going to happen? Like we talked about it earlier. There's going to be someone that is going to be. They're going to have to have it. All teams. Someone to catch. Someone to be that runner. I think that's the only.
Courtesy runners are an absolute.
It's crucial.
It's absolute. I mean, I don't care how they do it. Courtesy runners have to be in play. Pitchers, if they're more than POs, and pitchers not. I mean, I don't even think it's that bad because usually. But pitchers have a tendency to be on their own time.
Yeah.
Because they walk in the dugout.
They dictate the game.
Yeah.
They dictate the game.
And, you know, the pace of the game's got to be picked up. You know, I don't want to be a guy that goes out there and sitting there like, okay, you have to pitch every 2.5 seconds.
And if it comes to that, then is it really?
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, but if they're going to do a drop dead, I think that they have to do. I think if I had to make a suggestion, and nobody needs to listen to me, but my suggestion would be the drop dead isn't going to work. You have to do, when you start an inning, you finish the inning.
Yep.
That's the way it has to be.
Is that what they're doing right now? Or they're doing the drop dead?
Drop dead. And that's why this is coming into effect.
The drop dead is so hard.
Because you're milking a clock that's invisible.
If I'm playing softball and I have drop dead, you best believe I got a cramp in my leg.
How fast do you move if you're behind
When
in
you're
a drop dead?
Oh, no, and
You're
behind,
sprinting off that field.
when they were behind, the kid literally, I don't even think he was coming set. He was just catching the ball and just throwing it.
You need to.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. Like, if you're behind and you know, like, you can't be 10-0. Like, if it's a 5-3 game, you're hustling. Like, your center fielder is sprinting from center field in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the gamesmanship is if you're ahead by 2 and you know you got 15 minutes left, you're going to, I forgot my glove in the dugout.
I forgot my lucky sunflower seed that I've been chewing the whole game.
Yeah, I forgot. My belt fell off. You know, like all these.
I forgot to call my mom and tell her that we're in the
Bees!
6th inning.
Bees!
The bee game.
You know, it's one of those things where there is some gamesmanship, but, you know, again, the coaches, I want to say the umpires have to police this, but the umpires are there to do one job. They're there to police what goes on between the lines, right? What happens in the dugouts, that has to be a coach's thing.
Yeah.
That has to be like, all right, guys, let's go. And then if a coach sees them milking the clock, you should be able to call it out and be like, let's go.
Absolutely.
Like, you want to be like that? That's fine. Like, if you want to take a victory like that, that's fine. And most coaches, I would. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy. But if I'm in a position that I'm going to win the game, you know, we go back and talk about competitiveness.
So what happens like on a day where your not so good team is beating the top dog, and you know they have that lead?
Happened yesterday.
Yep.
Eagleware was up against Duredge in the last inning, and Duredge had runners on first and second, and all of a sudden the game just slows down, and time limit comes, and the game's over.
And that's the problem, is letting a part of the game that shouldn't be part of the game be the majority part of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about balls and strikes. It's about outs. And that the beautiful part about baseball is always going to be that you are guaranteed this many outs. Each team's guaranteed the same. When you do a time limit, it's not.
Yep.
You know, because even when you're at bat, you can slow the game down. That's the problem with baseball is time. You can take a slower walk too. And what are they going to do? All right, speed it up. You have to have one foot in at all times. Umpires can only do so much. Like, they can't force you. I mean, I guess technically they could. But I think what it boils down to, and this would be interesting, can you penalize the team that's milking the clock? Like, if you can prove it, do you say, okay, if you don't get in here within a certain time limit, it's a strike or it's an out?
Or you just...
Or if it's the other team, it's free base.
Yeah.
Do it again, free base. Then you got bases loaded with nobody out because your pitcher's trying to milk the clock a little bit. Then the game becomes a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's definitely tough to put a penalty in place because, you know, you could just say, oh, I'm taking my time. This is the game.
You can't prove it. There's no guilt.
There's not.
Can't prove it.
But, I mean, would a penalty help this? What do you think it would? Just giving the umpires the power, and that's a problem in itself. Not that, I mean, I like the umpires we have, but there could be a situation
Too
where...
much power is not a good thing.
Yep.
Honestly, the solution would just be get rid of the whole thing in general. Because there's too much.
You can keep the time limit, but...
I think there's too much in it, though.
But
you know?
but it's not a hard time limit. It's you finish the inning, you started.
Yeah.
Because then it's even for both teams. The drop dead is where it's at. It's just, that's a problem. We knew it was going to be a problem.
So even if your home team is drop dead, you might not get your last at bat?
Nope.
No.
See, that's where I go back to my beef way long ago was if you got to alter the game, you know what I mean? And like, because
I'm with you.
That's just, you know what I mean? You always, you know, that's just me. But the last at bats.
So that'll lead us to our G. Burbank Farms. What's your beef? I'm already done. I'm out of the barn. You guys still have some beef. Quinn hasn't spoken 5 words today. What's your beef?
Nothing. I got nothing. It's great.
And that's why you only speak 7
nothing.
words.
The only beef I can have is that you talk about baseball. I don't know baseball.
We talked about basketball a little bit.
And those were my 5 words.
And what you said was why you only have 5 words is LeBron James has a full contract.
He does.
LeBron James
full
has
guaranteed 9 players in the NBA.
LeBron James has the best basketball shoe. LeBron James has the best. Yeah.
I got nothing.
The biggest goat fan out there. You know where your New Jersey I gave you?
Eventually.
What'd you get?
Eventually.
I gave him the old Cavs
throwback
wine and gold throwback LeBron James.
There you go. There you
Reebok.
Oh.
It might go on the wall.
Going on the wall? It's not that nice.
Not yet.
Not that nice.
Not yet.
What wall? This wall? If I see a LeBron James jersey on my wall, I'm ripping it down. Straight up. I want to see a Richie Giuliano baseball jersey. That's what I want to see. We'll hang it up. Should hang it up right behind you where you sit. Right there.
That'd be sweet.
It would be sweet. We can have that. I mean, Tristan Reynolds jerseys. I mean,
I got a whole bunch of.
We got about 17 of them.
That'd be nice to get like some jerseys from each one of them and hang it.
Well, one of the things before we get to the what's your beef, one of the things I'm thinking about. You guys can tell me if I'm stupid or not. But you know how they have like name tags at work and everybody has their own desk. We don't have our own desks there. But what I'd like to do is I found this company. And you guys saw the YSN football jersey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get lockers, I think, behind, and I'm gonna have like lockers, and you can each have your individual jersey,
That'd be cool.
YSN jersey. So if you're a baseball player, we get you a baseball YSN jersey.
You're stupid.
Whatever. So what?
You're stupid.
Why?
It was the only time I could call you stupid because you said I could. I like your ideas. I just want to.
You need to stick to 7 words.
I just
You
want
need to stick to 7 words. You sound a lot smarter when you don't talk.
I used my 2 by saying you're stupid.
You sound way smarter when you don't talk. So
There's a free reason to call you stupid.
what's your beef?
I don't have beef. I'm good today. Today's a great day.
All right, move
It's
along.
a great Tuesday.
Move along to the guy the guy with the suit on. What's your beef?
My beef is my main man McGregor keeps teasing that he's coming back, and then he says he's not coming back, and he says he is coming back.
Did you say he's coming back now?
They're teasing that he has a
Josh.
fight because you know what it is, and I hate to say it, I love him to death. He wants the attention. So
Oh, absolutely.
why do you think he said he retired? It was the day before the UFC main event fight. So
He wanted the spotlight.
no one was talking about Conor, so he had to do something. I love him to death, man. You're still my homie, but figure it out because I want to see some more. And
Rob
then-
Manfred versus McGregor.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
The battle of flip flop. They
Let's
got
do
to
it.
fight in flip flops.
Let's do it.
I'd pay for view to watch that.
That is the only time I would want to be Conor McGregor. Beat the living hell out of the MLB commissioner who hates baseball. Like, you know how bad Portnoy is against Roger Goodell? I'm really starting to wonder and think maybe I should be the guy against
Do
Manfred.
it. Do it.
Like,
You're gonna have to fight Poe for that.
Just team up.
Yeah.
You know how like Power
Tag
Rangers.
team.
they
well,
team-
you know I can get away if it's a run.
You know, like just team up like in Power Rangers where they built that really big thing.
The Megazord?
Yeah, just do that. You and Poe. Carry him on your back.
No.
Let him get a joust.
No. That ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna have to watch the 40-yard dash again because just every time I say Poe, I just giggle.
I liked it. I liked it.
The Chariots of Fire. That's where it was at. Richie, what's your beef?
I'd say the time limit and the inability to get 7 innings in a 2-hour time period is tough. So I'd say time limit and the reason that we couldn't get a full 7 innings.
Gotta have 7 innings of baseball. Gotta have 7
I
innings.
mean, if you're not playing 9, you got to at least play 7, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't shrink it down to 5.
Yeah,
and
which is
and
happening.
It'd be a close game. You know what I mean? Like if it's a 5-4 game in 5 innings, that sucks.
Stinks.
What about 6 and give the home team the last at bat?
So play 12U.
Honestly, it's what
Now
you
we
want.
went to a tournament like that, like I said a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
softball.
No, it was baseball.
What?
It was a JV baseball tournament. We went a couple years ago. We played in it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
Yeah.
did say that.
And it was awesome. I liked it.
I still think there's something to 7. You play 7, you play 9. Yeah, I mean that's just how it is. 6 you get rid of in 12U. You know what I mean? That's just it's tough. I would like to see Major League Baseball go to 7 innings. I think you're going to get a lot more of the bigger names out
More
there.
involved. People would be more involved.
Yeah, because you're going to see. I want to see complete games.
Yeah.
I want to see the pitchers.
Batting averages are going to skyrocket, I think.
Good, great.
I
I'm a
like
batting guy. Like I'm sorry.
Yep.
But you hated that documentary.
We never got to it. Long Gone Summer. Here's why I hated the documentary in a nutshell. It didn't tell us anything new. It highlighted the fact that it was an exciting summer. Yeah, I remember 1998 was fun. It doesn't answer anything about it took them an hour to get to that they even took steroids. And I'm an advocate for Major League Baseball players taking steroids. I put it on the table yesterday with Ron that you can take steroids, but you have to give 50% of your salary into a pool that is whoever wins the World Series, they get to split it. So Bryce Harper, you want to take steroids? Knock yourself out because you're dipping in $30 million.
Yeah.
And then,
That's pocket change for them.
well, but you look at it and really what I'm tired of hearing is the guys that take steroids are going to win the World Series. That's not how it works.
Because that's going to make you feel. That's going to make you throw. That's going to make you. It makes you hit farther, but does it make you hit the baseball?
Also, before we go, I know we're up against it. The Yankees have been in the circles of being cheating. They have.
Well, I freaking hope not, because Aaron Judge strikes out way too damn much if they're cheating.
They have.
Jeez.
It is rumored that they have cameras in left, center, and right field focused on the catcher and also on the pitcher, so they know what pitch he's throwing. So all this BS.
How the hell you strike out that much still?
That they've been giving the Astros, the Aaron Judge, like, I rescinded my tweets from Jose Altuve because he doesn't deserve it. It makes me sick. Like, if this is true, you're a turd. You're a giant 6'9" turd.
And then if it is true, people are gonna come at.
Doesn't matter. He still couldn't hit.
People are gonna come at my boy Jeter.
He hits it enough.
They're gonna say what happened in the past, and then they're gonna come at my boy the captain.
I don't think Jeter.
I can't wait.
They're not gonna come at Jeter.
But he didn't do it.
They
He
come
probably
at
didn't do
Jeter
it.
for that walk-off hit in his last at bat.
Get off Jeter.
That's going to be wild.
I'll come across this table
I don't care.
and I'll knock the
I
7
care
words
less.
out of you.
I don't want
care
anyone
less.
to come at Jeter, but you don't think people are gonna take a shot at him?
Who's the first person they're going to come at? It's not going to be Jeter.
A-Rod.
A-Rod. A-Rod is a walking target because he took steroids. But guess what? He's laughing all the way back because he's the highest paid baseball player ever. So, great. Shoot me up. If I'm making $457 million and I'm still alive and I get to marry J-Lo or whatever they're doing together, I'm in.
They're making
If you give me
TikToks.
that contract, juice me all the time.
And nobody's going to juice you.
I know.
You don't even know how to talk about
so
baseball.
it don't matter.
Go juice yourself and play basketball. Shoot on the gun.
That ain't going to help anything.
So that's going to do it for the YSN Power. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't do what we do. So make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Get your hats, that one that's right in front of Richie. Get your shirts and get your mugs on YSN. We'll see you at Scene Park.
Hey, my Ohio friends, it's Mike Ditka, and I know great talent and heart when I see it. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are average real estate agents, then there are true champions. Kelly Warren is one of those champions, and you have her right there in your own backyard. Kelly outmarkets and outsells every agent in the Mahoning Valley. If Kelly can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, Kelly will buy it. Get your home sold. Call Kelly Warren today at 717-2689 or go online to kellysoda.com and start packing.
You can feel it. Baird Brothers' traditional craftsmanship. You can see it. Baird Brothers' timeless style. And you can afford it. And find everything at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is real hardwood, yet beautifully affordable. Floors, moldings, interior doors, bar rails, and stair parts. All within your means and without a care. Start at BairdBrothers.com. You have made it. Your home.
Teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.